I put everybody into rooms. You amazing trainers. I'm just making sure everybody's co-hosted. Albert, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're all co-hosts. So here we go. Go have an amazing time. You're going to learn for 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes. Everybody into rooms, and then we're going to add into another room. They're interactive. Don't forget, if you are a speaker or trainer in the room, like Albert and Michelle and Ginny and Christine, don't forget to turn the record button on. You have the power in the room. You can mute people, and we're about to rock and roll. Keep your cameras on. Have an amazing time in those rooms. I'll be in the main room. Michelle will be chatting with you in the main room. And I'm going to keep admitting people and take care of you because you're back. We were here for you all day. Stay with us all day till you hear from you, Mr. Amazing Bill Walsh. And then we'll go into networking. 5, we're moving. 4, have a great time. 3, get the education. 2, take it to the next level. See you all soon. All right, Michelle, it's your show.
Well, I got Cheryl. Let's bring Cheryl into the action. Let's talk about these great public speakers. We need more. The world needs more public speakers. Cheryl, what do you got to say about that? Oh, you got to unmute. So you can speak.
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on it because I thought Michael said he was going to have me talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm going to have her talk about that later.
But just a little bit.
Okay, just a little snap-appetizer. It's a snap-appetizer is what it's going to be. The company I used to be with, we called telling what it is that you do is your snap. And so if we were going to give them a little bit of information, Lisa Nichols created the word snap-appetizer. So Platinum Speaker Camp is something I'm very passionate about. If you're an author, a current speaker, a trainer, you want to learn how to speak, then our Platinum Speaker Camp program is for you. It's for you, and it's for you to start now. The actual class will be May 3rd through the 5th in Chicago at the Chicago Retreat Center. However, we start doing the work now. We put you into some exercises and give you different materials so you can start being prepared and you can start participating in some different events that we have. So if you have an interest in that, my phone number is 256-975-0527. 256-975-0527. But this is an intense program. It's 4.5 days. It's for someone that wants to learn how to speak itself on stage. If that's not something you're interested in doing for a job or a living or your passion, but you just want to learn how to speak better, then what you want to do is you want to join Rainmaker. Because along with our Rainmaker program, we have something called Icon Speaker Program. And that's the last day of Rainmaker. And it's going to teach you how to get your icebreaker together, how to get your 2-minute pitch together, how to get booked, how to negotiate some with the event planning spaces and different things. Right now, you don't have to have a lot of experience to negotiate because they're giving away deals, but that's something that we're going to help you learn how to speak yourself from stage. And that's more, though, the intense program is a Platinum Speaker Camp. But if you just want to learn for local or for your just starting out, then I recommend that you look at our Rainmaker program that starts tomorrow at noon in Las Vegas, Henderson at the Green Valley Ranch. And I know Michelle's going to be there. I'll be there virtual, attending. And if you can't be there in person, then you can do the virtual training like Michelle was mentioning earlier. I want to tell you, when you join Power Team and you have the opportunity to really come in on one of these virtual trainings, you're going to be amazed at how much you feel a part, like you were actually there. I know when I did my first Platinum Speaker Camp virtual, when we had to make switches because the world switched, and so we had to do part we did it digital, virtual, and we had some people that could still go in person into Las Vegas, and then we had those classes are very small, and so we only allow 20. So we had 12 in Vegas, and we had I can't add, but we had about 8 or 9 online because somebody had a partner, so we allowed the extra person for a partner. And I have to tell you, online, I was just blown away at how much I learned, how much more focused I stayed, how much I wasn't trying to figure out what I was going to have for lunch when the break came up. All kinds of silly stuff that you think about when you're at events. I need to run to Starbucks. I need to do this. So when you do it virtual, it's a great opportunity. But what's so fantastic about it, it's in your back office. You could start looking at it right now. We're going to be filming live this week, starting tomorrow again. And you can watch it or you can go there in person. And either way makes no difference for which way you're going to learn, because you're going to eventually do a live one. And so we've got one coming up that'll be in Dallas. We're going to have one in Chicago and Vegas, I want to say, right? Those will be the next one. I may have left out, there's going to be 4, so I've left out some city.
I think you're spot on. They can go to ipowerteam.biz and click on the schedule. But I just wanted to just talk a little bit about that icon, like you pointed out, and it's trying to make it really fun. If you love what you're doing, you can make a lot of money out of it. And Rainmaker is a great place to start. And I just want to make sure if any of you wanted to kind of jump in at the last minute, now's your time to do it virtually, fly to Vegas, whatever you have to do to join us would be great. If not, you can see us live in April. But I also wanted to talk a little bit, Cheryl, maybe you can banter with me a little bit. So far today, we've heard from Michael Silvers and from Austin Walsh talking about funnels. And we have this really cool brochure. And if you want me to send you this brochure on Power Team, it goes through some of the really cool programs that we offer. And residual mastery is why a lot of us love this freedom-based business lifestyle so much, because you can create multiple income streams, but you got to know what you're doing to do that. And Austin has.
I'm going to jump in here just for 1 sec. Yeah. Cheryl, can I move you into one of the rooms? Anyone in particular?
Yeah, wherever you want to send me.
All right, fantastic.
So I just wanted to talk about the funnels again, just briefly, and then we can, if you guys want more information about our Rainmaker Elite, it's a really great program because it also includes some really cool things for building those funnels out. And of course, you'll want to speak to Austin by, texting the internet 26786. But you can always do timewithmichelle.com. I'm going to put it all in the text. I'll make sure you get to the right people. So will Michael. But bottom line here is you want to make sure that you build your funnels correctly. And here, Austin talks about how to monetize your expertise, launch your membership sites, and discover all kinds of residual opportunities. He's really great at that. He's been doing it for about 10 years. Some of the most influential people have sought him out to help them. I think Bill talks about Mark Victor Hansen, who sold 500 million books. He's a co-author of Secrets for the Soul, has hired, Austin Welsh to do different things. And so if you want to learn how to create residual income, you want to get your funnel straight, you'll definitely want to talk to Austin. And if you want to learn more, you can also talk to us. And so, so I'm not sure, how many of you already have a funnel, maybe it just needs a little tweaking, just to make sure that you're grabbing the attention of the prospects that land on your website, make sure they're not bouncing. As Austin mentioned today, he said, you put your social media buttons there and your goal was to get them to opt in, but now they're going to bounce and go to Facebook or LinkedIn. Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe you need to rethink that. So if you want to generate more customers, get more leads, have people actually stay on your website and learn more about the different ways you can solve their problems, then you'll probably want to speak to an expert who can help you get there faster. And the Rainmaker Elite program is actually a higher end program, but it includes some of those things. It's got that, we talk about the Mobex Pro, which has the funnels, the mobile funnels for getting people into your business world so you can generate more leads and get more customers. As it says, customers are great for business. So you want to make sure that the buyer's journey, the buyer's experience, how they end up in your world is fabulous. You want to make sure that you're the go-to person for solving their problems. So get your branding right, get your funnels right, and you can certainly get a complimentary coaching plan together for your business simply just by texting SBA to 26786. And so I know I'm rambling here, but I love internet marketing. We're passionate about it over here at Power Team International. We have so many success stories, and you can have that freedom-based lifestyle that you're looking for, where you can work anywhere in the world. You can spend time with your family. You can spend time with people that are fun. Because if it ain't fun, it ain't getting done. So that's what we always say. And you are a champion. You got to remember that about yourself. Keep going until you win, and make sure you get the right tools and mentorship. It's very important to choose people that have already succeeded on where you want to go. Bill Walsh certainly has done that. Michael Silvers has done that. The entire team over at Power Team International has seen one success story after another, and you can be next. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat room. What tools are you currently using for your funnels? If you're listening and you have a favorite tool, what is the tool? Are you using email marketing, text marketing? Are you doing copywriting? What are your marketing channels that are your favorites? And what questions would you have around them? Like, are you sure they're the best tools? Because again, we want to know. We want to know what you're using and what challenges you're facing, because we definitely have the ability to help you with some of those challenges. So I see Simone is looking at me. She's got her video on. Simone, you want to unmute so we can have a conversation so I'm not talking at everybody? You got the unmute on your phone. Can you see it? I know you're trying to get unmuted here. It's okay. You can also text a question or something.
Okay, now it's off.
There you are. So you're driving. Are you driving, or are you in your home?
Well, I'm parked now.
Okay, so you're parked. Well, good. You're safe. So what brings you to the conference today?
Well, I was invited, and I logged on, and I'm here.
See, we've been telling everyone events are more fun with friends. Invite people. So you were invited, and you are actively a speaker, coach, have a business, or are you just
I have
curious?
a business.
What's your business?
I'm into hair care, beauty, fashion, music, entertainment, food. I'm in a bit of quite a bit.
Well, we have the obvious is the book right behind me. I don't know if you can see it. And Bill has a chapter talking about the law of focus, because you know we talk about follow one course until successful. And entrepreneurs, we love to create, and so we're very passionate about what we're creating. So if you had to pick one thing,
My phone interrupts, so I didn't hear
okay.
the thing you said.
If you have to create one thing out of all these wonderful things that you love to do, what would that be? Would that be the hair, or would it be the entertainment? What would that be?
Well, right now for me, everything goes together, and I am more into serving the public.
Okay. All right. So when you've been listening to the speakers, did you catch Austin speak already, or?
I'm not sure.
Did you see Mike? Did you see any of the speakers speak today on anything yet?
Not really. I think I saw Michael. That's the only one I think I saw on here.
So we have public speakers throughout the day that are speaking on every kind of subject that would be good for people who want to, start, launch, and grow their business to even greater success. And so you'll be being moved in and out of these different break rooms so that you can talk about your business. Are you? Do you have a website or right now? Are you working on something?
Well, I have a website. I have a hair website and I have a skincare website. I'm a consultant with Mary Kay.
Okay.
So I use their product and I sell their product. And I have a hair website that I sell the hair pieces, and working on my fashion line website.
This is fantastic. I would love to talk to you more about that because, public speakers, they like to look good. They like to, everybody in business needs good branding, looking good, feeling good. So what you're doing is definitely in demand. So we'll talk more. You can text SBA to 26786 and we can learn a little bit more about your business and how you're growing it and getting more clients your way. Are you thinking about writing a book or anything like that?
I am.
What's the title of your book? Have you thought about a title?
No, not yet.
Okay. So we believe that a book is better than a business card. It gets you more opportunities, and we'd love to talk to you more about that. So I'm going to go ahead and check back into the room and see if there's anybody else that wants to talk today with us for a little bit. We'd love to have you join Rainmaker if you can make it out, but you and I will definitely connect, talk a little bit more about this fashion business that you're creating, and also this book that you want to do.
Yes.
Bill says you don't have to wait. You can just get your cover, get a title, and tell people that you're launching your book in 2021, and you can get started right away. So let's talk more about that, and I'm going to go ahead and put you back on hold, and we'll keep going.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So just so you know, we do have the Rainmaker Elite. It is a $5,000 program. It does have Rainmaker in it. It has coaching. We have the Movex Pro. You can also invite other Rainmakers. You can have extra tickets to the Ultimate Wealth Camp. And I can go further and deeper into that conversation if you text SBA to 26786. And if you want to get on my calendar, timewithmichelle.com.
I'm just letting everybody know too, Michelle, that I moved everybody into breakout rooms. If for any reason you put the breakout invite, just go ahead, log out, log back in, and I'll move you back into a room.
Perfect.
So, and I haven't had any requests for changing rooms, so it's a good tight group. I'm
Everyone's supposed to be pretty happy. Okay, so, all right, so let's see who else would like to talk. Sarah James. Unmute. Let's say hello. Oh, you're getting shy. I saw the shyness come up. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to the conference.
Hi. How are you doing?
When did you get in? Have you been on all day, or did you just join us?
Oh, I was just in a breakout room, but I got a little bored.
You got a little bored? All right. This is not the boring place. We were in the fun room, right?
Well, it was a little boring. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
She was just talking and talking and talking and talking. I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, what is your business, and are you having any challenges or anything that are you a public speaker, or you have a desire for that? What's going on with you?
I could be a public speaker. I'm an Alexander technique teacher. I'm working at creating a business that helps people to heal their basically learn how to have better motor control. Because it's a really important part of health and wellness that nobody knows about. So I'm trying to get people educated about it.
Okay. Have you been doing that a long time?
I've been an Alexander tech teacher for a long time, but I've also done other things like massage and I've done tarot card readings. I've done kind of spiritual, stuff that's on the spiritual coaching kind of
do you consider yourself like a mindset coach, like kind of get underneath?
No, I don't consider myself a mindset coach at all. I
You have a
suppose
website?
I'm more into neuroscience than mindset.
Okay, neuroscience is very good, very good.
Mhm.
Do you have a website right now? Are you coming out with a book or anything, any dreams?
I have a website, it's called AT Vital Body.
Uh-huh.
And I have a landing page, and a couple of other things.
All right. Well, that's what we're here to find out, how people can start, launch, and grow their business to even greater success. And I don't know if you were able to catch Austin Walsh, but he talks about residual incomes, with different, funnels. And so you have a landing page.
I think that's a good idea. What?
Do you have an opt-in for people, like a free report or anything like that on your website?
I have an opt-in to go to for them to get a free lesson.
Okay, that's actually test drives can work really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of give people an idea. Of
and I have a free free meditation that I do, and so I'm trying to get to where I can have regular Zoom meetings to introduce people to this meditation. It's a free meditation, and you can, if you do it twice a day, it really starts to make a huge difference. Like if you want to be a public speaker, like if you're talking about public speaking, it helps you. A lot of the problems people have with public speaking have to do with what we call neuronoise. So you're reacting. Like if you ever watch somebody that does, you see if you watch somebody that does what do you call it? That does sign language interpretation. If you look at them and their neck, watch their neck go bulge up because their mind is saying this is what I normally do, and they're having to stop. And so, but the muscles, they seize up in the way that they're used to, even though they don't need to do that anymore because they're just talking with their hands.
Yeah, it's interesting how our bodies change when we're in environments that we're not necessarily used to, and public speaking, they've said it before, it's like one of the scariest things for people. But it sounds like you have a really good concept. I would love to talk to you more about it. And I know what you want to create. You can, text SBA to 26786 or just put timewithmichelle.com. And I'd like to learn more about, any books that you want to create or, anything that you want to add to help your business get more leads. And you started to say something and then you kind of stopped, which you were trying to create an event, get more into creating events or webinars. Is that what you were saying?
I want to create this, I don't know if I could do it through Eventbrite or something, but I want to create like a daily practice session, like it's a free one, like where people can engage with this meditation.
Let's talk about that. That's one of the things about the Rainmaker program coming up is we help people take that vision or that mission and, create some actionable steps so that they can achieve exactly what you're talking about. And Austin's also a really good person to talk to, but we have complimentary business coaching success sessions, and you and I can become really good friends and get to know each other a little bit. And maybe Rainmaker might be a good thing to attend because we're doing it virtually tomorrow, and also we have the live one coming up again in April. But we'll talk more about your business. I'm a voice identity coach, so when you were talking about the voice, I've been doing that for years, helping people with their vocal cords so they can project.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So I would love to talk to you more about that.
What do you mean when you talk about voice identification? What does that mean?
Just about how the voice is a mood shifter. It can cause people to relax. It can stress them out. You have to be aware of our body language and our voice and what we're saying. And Bill's very good at that. Bill Walsh is always talking about you want to be clear, you want to be concise, but there's a way to deliver a message that makes people comfortable, right? And engaging. Mm-hmm. And the voice identity can throw people off sometimes. So I like what you're doing because it's important. It really is. And I think you should dig more into that. And I'd
Yeah.
love to talk to you
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
phone.
yeah, and what was your Michelle?
It's timewithmichelle.com. That gets you on my calendar. Definitely also, please put text SBA to 26786. And that gets you into, for our team to call you. But if you want to get on a calendar right away with me, just timewithmichelle.com. And within 24 to 48 hours, you and I can talk on the phone. And that goes for anybody who wants to get on my calendar. So, because we get booked up pretty fast and we want to make sure, we have the conversations.
Well, that's cool.
All right, well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit later then. I want to see if there's anybody else that wants to say hello while they wait to go into a breakout room. Looking around. I see Jim on there. It's always nice to say hello to Jim. Jim, are you gonna do virtual tomorrow on the Rainmaker, or are you just you can unmute? Oh, I can't hear you. Gotta unmute. Unmute. I like talking to Jim because last time I was on a call with Jim, he said the Earth is rotating, and if you if you stand still, you're going backwards. Your life, you have to always be moving forward. If you want things to go well, you can't just stand still and just wait. You can't do that. I think that's what you said. Wasn't it last time we were talking?
Yes, words to that effect. Yes, you have to keep moving, because if you don't keep moving, then you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
Standing by the river and watching that tree moving by.
If you have a business and you want to, make it more successful, you have to move forward. You have to invest in it. You have to work with the right people and the right team. So when you mention that you don't want to go backwards, you got to keep moving, keep getting involved in the things that are going to help you and be around people. Jim, tell us a little bit about your business. There are people listening, and joining us in and out of the conference today. It'd be nice for them to get to know you, because you and I spent a little time, I think, at the Win Global for a little bit, and with Mark Victor Hansen.
Yes, we did.
And so, but do tell us about your business and
that
your
was a phenomenal event. I'm constantly innovating, so. Oh, absolutely. I always like to seize the opportunity to share what I have, my background. I've been in business for over 40 years. I'm retired. So what I'm doing right now is my hard work, which is really to help the aspiring and emerging business owners to develop and grow. So I have implemented several training programs, one like business plan writing, because that is the foundation for any business that you have. You've got to have a plan, a roadmap for your business journey. And many people have it, but they have it in their head. We need to transform that onto paper so they can have something to look at and refer to and see when they get off on a tangent, how to get back on track.
Yeah.
And that led me also to developing my business from scratch, which is a program that teaches 7 fundamental steps that must be mastered before you can have a successful and profitable business. And that leads into the other programs like the Rainmaker and the other programs that Bill has. I got to say this too, and this is for everyone that is on this line. The Rainmaker was a turning point in my life. 7 years ago. Yeah, there you go. There you absolutely. I got mine right here. Yeah. See, 7 years ago, I was in a valley moment in my life, and I was so out and down that all I could do was ride a mega bus to Chicago from Atlanta when I heard about Bill's program. And I got there and it changed my life, because everything that I saw there was what I needed for the moment, for the time. And the message that I want to share with anyone that is listening to this is, if you stay within yourself and focus on what you want, then keeping that focus will bring you into that place where it literally comes to you. I got reconnected after all these years with Bill again because I know I needed to move to another level. And there it was, I got this call from Bill, and here I am now as a Gold Mastermind. And in fact, I am planning for the Atlanta Gold Mastermind to be next week, Tuesday. And we want everyone to jump in. There's a virtual mastermind, the first one that I'm doing. I'm partnering with Michael Silvers, and we're going to have a great time. But it's going to be so valuable. I've put so much into stuff that we're going to lay out for everyone. Can't miss it.
Well, mastermind, they're I don't know if you remember the disc profiles, and one of the disc profiles is the influencer.
Yes.
And so they're famous for saying, if it ain't fun, it ain't getting done. So masterminds are perfect for that, because if it ain't fun, it ain't getting done. You do want to be focused, but you also want to get in a group of people that you can, run ideas, with. And so I love the idea that you're doing this mastermind with Michael Silvers. And we do have a mastermind program that if people want to, start and launch and grow their own mastermind, they should talk to Michael Silvers. We do have that program. It's the Gold Mastermind, and they can text SBA to 26786 to do that. So it sounds like you're really enjoying that, and I can't wait to pop in and say hello in your mastermind. Yeah, that's
absolutely. That's going to be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Michael Silvers, he's just the best. You don't get much better than that. With
the entire team, yes.
Boy, I was hearing that. Let me tell you right now.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute, but I heard that part.
Oh, well, absolutely.
Well, I love the fact that we have a thing called Own It. You got to own it in your business, and O stands for the results and the outcome you want, and your why you want it, but your next step. What's your next step that's going to help your business? And we say it's Rainmaker. Of course, it's Rainmaker. Start with Rainmaker. That's your next step. And if you want to join us virtually tomorrow, let us know. Again, you can message us in the text and say, yeah, I'd like to join Rainmaker tomorrow, and we'll get you that information.
Hey, Jim, you want me to put you in a room right now, a breakout room, or you want to hang here?
I can hang either one.
I'm going to go away for a minute. Why don't you listen to Christine again a little bit on that negotiation piece? That's great for masterminds.
Okay.
So I was thinking of going to showing some of our websites. If anybody hasn't seen them, you can do that. And so thanks, Jim, for chatting, and we'll get some more masterminds going. I see David James. Hi, David. You want to unmute and say hello?
Hey, how you guys doing? How y'all doing?
How are you doing? So have you been here since the beginning, or are you popping in and out?
What happened is I caught it at the end. I didn't get a chance to hear anyone speak. I got a chance to hear you elaborate on, the different platforms and different opportunities and stuff like that, and the mindset and stuff like that. So I stayed in. I'm still in tune.
You're still here. This is so great.
Yes,
and you can invite people throughout the day too. We are a family of entrepreneurs, Power Team International. We're all about the team and, powering your team for success. And so we're glad you're here. What industry are you in as far as business?
So I'm in the marketing, business management, consulting. So yeah, I do consulting. I actually, marketing too as well. That's my niche. Business.
We're looking for people. We've got the internet. I run the International Success Center here in Las Vegas. We're always looking for small business advisory coaches and consultants. So you can talk to me about that. You can talk to Michael Silvers about that.
Absolutely.
We're always looking for great public speakers, especially if you are someone who understands branding and marketing and you have expertise in that, then we definitely want to talk to you about it. For sure.
Yeah, so right now, actually, yeah, I do that. I'm working with two inventors. One has 9 inventions. He has the thermal shield, face shield. He has, some other products, a saltwater generator, saltwater lamp. And the other guy, my other partner, he has something for the cell phone. So we're in production phase. I want to say development stages. We waiting for the prototype so we can start doing the marketing campaign, which I'm excited for. But as well, I broke it my first day before this COVID crazy with the #1 tour bus company in Washington, D.C. And they only had 40 hotels, which was a high-end hotel, like Walker Park, which is familiar. And I ended up getting 30 hotels in 10 days. They only had 40 hotels in their books. I got 30 hotels in 10 days. Not just speaking to the front desk, I'm talking about GM, director, the hotel, everything. So, only thing that stopped that was I had got.
You know what? Bill talks about that. I keep referencing Bill, but he says things like you got to adapt, overcome, and innovate.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to keep going until you win. I know people are saying, "Oh, COVID and the economy."
No self-defeating thoughts.
Nope.
No.
Mental toughness. Yeah,
Absolutely.
wins the day. So, do you want to have a chat about? You can get on my calendar, timewithmichelle.com.
Okay.
We can chat more about your business, and also for anybody, I feel like I'm having a private conversation with David here, but for all of you listening, Bill also rolled out the high ticket success offers that he's helping people package. So if anybody is interested in that, it's a pretty good investment, and it helps people, create their high ticket offers. And so if you are interested in doing a public speaking career, you want to create a high ticket offer, and you want to work with Bill Walsh on that, you'll also need to let me know so we can tell you about that too. Again, we're looking for business consultants, public speakers, and so if anybody wants to talk to me about that, just go timewithmichelle.com. That gets you on my calendar, and we will just pick a time slot, and we'll call you in the next time slot. And then also text SBA to 26786. I see that we need to mute some people, but thanks, David, for talking with me. I can't wait to talk to you about the consulting programs.
Okay.
And also maybe Platinum Speaker Camp too. That might be something for you.
So do you because I want to license the product and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm so excited about the opportunity. My partner, he just got Walmart 3 weeks ago. So
wow, yeah, you need to talk to Bill. You need to find out, because he is a venture capitalist. He is he just was ranked number 20 in the world of global gurus. Tony Robbins, I think, was number 17. So he's in good company. So definitely, I want to learn more about what you're doing, and if it makes sense, we'll get you talking to Bill.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks
so we'll
so
talk
much.
soon. I put timewithmichelle.com. All you have to do is schedule a call, and we'll talk.
Okay. Where would I go find
Congratulations.
Annette?
It's in the chat room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
And then you can just put me right on the calendar, and then we'll go. All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks. All right. I didn't really put a link on there. We want people to text SBA to 26786. But if you want to talk to me today or tomorrow, you can just timewithmichelle.com, and that'll get you on my calendar. So I just want to say that. So who else? I know if any of you want to go into a breakout room, just in the chat box, you can ask Michael to make sure to put you in a breakout room if that's what you want to do. And okay, so just
I definitely want you on a breakout room.
go ahead and text SBA to 26786. We'll have to fix the link.
Yeah,
Sorry about
David,
that.
if you didn't get the invite, go ahead and sign out, sign back in, and I'll move you again, but I have to.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't always pop up right.
It says join breakout room, right?
That's it.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go get the
absolutely. I'll
link.
be there.
All right.
Here's my calendar. I just put my link in directly. Just wanted to give you guys something easy to remember, but
We've
here's the
got
link.
10 more minutes, Michelle, and I'm bringing it
There you
back.
go. Just click on that, and you'll just get on my calendar and we can talk about that right away. All right, who else do we have? Sharon. I see you, Sharon. How are you? We've spoken before. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, hello.
What do you got behind you? Is that real or is that a background?
Yeah, I'm sitting out in the snow.
You're sitting out in the snow.
It's a
Merry
background.
Christmas.
It's a winter background.
Yeah. So, were you here since this morning, or are you just getting on here?
Yeah, about an hour ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I kind of forgot. I forgot. I'm busy with other things, and then I think, oh yeah, there's something on today.
Yeah. We always say everyone should be inviting their friends because people are always curious about online, marketing and multiple income streams, and
Definitely.
So, do you have a book in you, or you want to share any books that you're working on, or anything like that?
I'm working on a book. Not at all. I'm not working on a book. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a network marketer.
Uh-huh.
And I'm building my business, and I'm a watercolor artist, and I'm also a healer, do a lot of energy work, craniosacral, Reiki, esoteric healing, distance healing from the core, new thing I've been doing. Yeah, so. A lot of
So,
different.
are you looking to generate more leads? You're here for the conference for reasons. They're just kind of curious. Different people come for different reasons. So I'm just kind of.
Yeah, just to learn whatever you got to tell me. Lead generation might be an issue. Though mostly I like to. I don't know. Cold leads aren't really interesting to me. But I would like learning about a funnel kind of thing.
Yeah, Austin's pretty good at getting people very clear and focused on where you want to send people to, so that they don't bounce and leave. We call it your kingdom. They don't leave your website. We want them to be focused on the right things, so that they opt in and can schedule time with you. And so it's more of a qualified lead is what we're going for, not the
I don't actually have a website. So I don't only have a website. I do have domains that I could build a website, but
a landing page works. I mean, you can do so much with, a few pages, and that's what, Austin can kind of talk to you a little bit about
what you're saying. You're talking in a language I don't understand.
Okay, so
landing page, I don't.
Like if you have people have websites.
Yes.
And they might end up at the home page, right? So that's a landing page. If they end up at the home page, that's a landing page. If they go to the contact us page, that's another landing page.
Okay.
So in marketing, and what Austin was sharing with us earlier today, how important it is to make sure that when people, type in your domain name and they arrive at a page or a landing page, if they arrive at that page, that marketing on that page engages people so they want to stay and not bounce and leave and go to Facebook or LinkedIn. And also, if you have an opt-in, some kind of form, to work with you, that you actually are capturing qualified leads, that you're targeting the right people, that you're swimming in the right pond, so that your world opens up to people you actually are a good fit to work with, and they're a good fit for you. Yeah, because life is short. You want to make sure that that you're very focused on the result you're actually wanting to get. So
how do I do that? How do I get that information?
So you text internet
Text.
to 26786. I'll put it on here. You text internet.
So I go to my phone.
266.
Text.
786. Yeah. Because it's really about, again, focusing on the right things, and and that's where Austin Walsh is very masterful. He's very good at helping people think through the funnel so that they get the results they want to get.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And I can tell by talking to you, you're like, I don't want no cold leads.
No, not right now.
Warm them up and send them to me. That's everybody, right? Most people want to work with the people.
But if I have a thing that attracts them and funnels them, at least I know they're on the somewhat same line.
They call it their
I'm interested in wellness and health.
Yeah.
As well as business, but mostly helping people to be healthier is one of my main things. My name is Sky Unlimited Wellness.
Oh, okay, that's really pretty. Sky Unlimited. That's powerful.
SKY is my initials.
Okay, SKY.
Yeah, Sharon KM.
Sharon K. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, sometimes I'll ask people how they came up with their really cool names, and they'll be like,
and then I wanted to
those are my initials.
Sky. My email Sky Unlimited.
I love it.
SKYUNLTD. So I've kind of kept all that.
Well, if you'd like, you can get on a call with me. I can talk to you a little bit more about the funnel, and I can get you on a call with Austin.
Okay.
And I'll just put my information down below in the chat. You see the chat?
I do.
And I have a link there. You can just click that link. It gets you right to my calendar. You can also text internet to 26786. That gets you.
I already did that.
Okay.
I already did that.
Let me give you my phone number too.
I'm clicking on Michelle. Okay, got it.
Yep. And if you'd like, you can even look into possibly joining us for Rainmaker tomorrow if you'd like to do that, and we'll talk more about it. So, yeah, because we have a few options for that. And one of the Rainmaker Elite actually has that funnel that we were talking about into it. So we'll talk. We'll get to know your business a little bit more. I think you should say Sky on your. It says Sharon Young, but I like that. So nickname Sky. So so thank you for joining us. Make sure to invite more people to the call, because everybody wants multiple income streams if they can make it happen, right?
Yes.
So let's do it. Network marketing. Create your book. Create your courses. Go team. Go power team.
Onward, onward.
Okay. You got some good things to share. Thanks for talking with me, and we'll talk more. Okay. Who else do we got on here? I see. Oh no, they got themselves off video. Does anybody need to stretch? It's like, Shay, just stretch and all of that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I think I'm going to go to visit the Rainmaker Summit.
Actually, we're about to bring them back.
Oh, you're about ready? Okay. So we'll hold off on that maybe next segment. We'll go through the websites.
Plug in.
Got it.
See, these gaming computers always put the plugs in like that. So I get to do the feel around for the plug, and I found it, or I can look. There we go.
There you go. I don't see you, Michael. Where are you? I hear a voice. There you are.
Okay, let me just give them the 2-minute warning.
All right. I got to go fix my link. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. All right, fantastic. I'm about to bring them all back to the main room. Then we're going to move into the next round of breakouts, everybody. Most of the people here are hey, Sharon, how are you doing? So everybody just get ready for more. We're going to have more education and more knowledge, and it just makes a difference. It's the kind of thing that that will absolutely just drive you to the next planet. We just let somebody know something. Okay, fantastic. There we go. I just got some more people on, just helping them out. All right, I'm going to bring them all back in 30 seconds. The suspense never ends at Power Team International. It's just a great day. It's a great day. And then I'm going to just redo breakout rooms and go from there. We've got 1 minute, and here they come. All right, I just closed the rooms. We'll have everybody coming back, and then I'll set everybody up, and I've got to set the rooms out. So life is really good. Here we go. 20 seconds. 19, 18. The suspense never ends. So we're going to welcome everybody back as I'm going to distract my daughter's cat from jumping on my lap at this moment. I'm telling you, working from home has changed a lot of things, right? Didn't have this when you were not in the field. Well, you never do. Actually, we had things happen in the field that this would be minor compared to that. They're about, here they are. They're all coming back, so it's great. I wanted to thank everybody for being back. I was going to share some stuff on Facebook to the group, but I'll play with you guys for a couple minutes. I'm going to recreate the rooms in a minute. So, Cheryl, are you back somewhere? You can actually do that. For the next group of speakers too, I want to make sure that I've also made you all the co-hosts. So this is how it happens in Zoom. It's really cool. Everybody can remember this. First of all, if you're Cheryl, there we go. Cheryl, I'm going to have you, not yet, but in chat just in a couple minutes. So as you move them into the groups, especially speakers you work with, you can have them record resident recordings within the room themselves. You just have to make them co-host. You can allow them to record, or you can make them co-host. It makes it really simple. So I just got to make sure I got my next batch here, and I'll make them all co-hosts, and then I'll recreate the rooms. But I wanted to welcome everybody back. If you had a great time in your room and you learned one thing, just one thing, put a 1 in the chat. If you learned one thing, put a 1 in the chat. Fantastic. You are always in the room you're supposed to be in. You are always in the room you're supposed to be in. That makes a difference as we move this thing forward. So that's really critical. Number 2, because nobody has to move rooms. You guys are awesome. You're going to get the learning. And we'll send you places that you can go to get all the recordings. And we'll take care of you. So don't worry. Nobody gets left behind. We do this together. Oh, you're not very late. You're early. You're perfect. You're on time. You're ready for more. My name's Michael Silvers. I'm Executive Vice President for Power Team. I wanted to welcome you all on the call today. We're very excited to have you on. And what that means is we're ready to move out into another group of breakouts. Once we move out into this next group of breakouts, the critical piece here is then we're going to go back to the main stage. So in an hour from now, we're going to be back on the main stage. And on the main stage, you're going to hear some powerful information that is going to rock your world. So let me grab the people who are supposed to be talking right now and give them each 30 seconds. Let me make them co-hosts so they're top of my list. For those of you who are ready spoken, I'm going to withdraw the co-host permission just so you're not right up on my board the same way. It just makes it easier. All right, I've got Melanie. I've got, it's fun doing this actually. I love to do this. It's like playing a chess game. And because what happens is people like to move around. The other thing they do, let me tell you, they come on with not their name. So I always tell if you're going to work with us, when you sign in, it's got to be your name. Michelle, I'm getting lots of typing from Cheryl or Michelle. I'm getting lots of typing. So when you sign in and you're working with a team, make sure, got to make sure I'm a co-host, not host. make sure that they come in with their name. It's the other thing too for some of you. I've heard this when you create groups in Facebook and you can't find who, what, where. If people join your Facebook group, you tell them, I need to know who you are. So if your name on Facebook is different than who you truly are, you need to make me aware of that. Because what you don't want to do is spend a long time searching. Because searching for them is not always as fun as you think it is. And it will make a difference as we really move forward. Cheryl, if you're still there, let me actually I'm going to go off the cancel the spotlight so everybody can see everybody. Fantastic. Go back. You can hit gallery view. And my Cheryl, where's my Cheryl? Cheryl, can you text Dr. Wendy? I don't see her on my board yet. That would be fantastic. I don't see her on the board yet. I'm looking down here, but I don't see her up here. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and then you can mute again because I think it's your fan. Somebody's got a noisy fan in the background. Cheryl, I'll get you, Cheryl. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to first bring up for 30 seconds. Make sure your camera, their cameras are on. That's great. I love it. Let me Melanie, I lost you. I had you there a second. Melanie, wave your hand, jump up and down. Okay, you're not jumping up and down, Melanie. I don't see you jumping up and down. So Melanie, go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go. And tell us 30 seconds about what you're going to bring to this table.
Hi, my name is Melanie McSally. I am your profit optimization and technology expert, and we're going to have a in-depth Q&A on your technology concerns, needs, what have you. We'll overcome the three main barriers, which is knowledge, time, and money.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Hold on, I got to do one thing here. There we go. You are the best. Michelle, I'm going to get you next. Let me just make you a co-host. I made you host. You had like perfect power there for a minute. You could have done anything you wanted. Don't let anybody else in the room for a minute. Let me just make you co-host. Make you co-host. There we go. All right, Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Michelle Gwynn, and I am your personal productivity strategist. And I am going to speak with you in my workshop on how to accelerate your performance by giving you some tips and some secrets onto how you can earn more money in less time, and do that by mastering your time, your focus, and your habits. So I look forward to you joining me.
Awesome. Fantastic. And again, everybody, when you see a spotlight view, when I take away from that, what you can do is you go to the top right-hand corner and hit speaker view again. And on your phone, it's under your options, usually on the right on the bottom. So I wanted to thank everybody for being on. We're about to move into the next breakouts. I need to set them up. And Cheryl, go ahead and wave your hand here. I don't see her at all. Okay, Cheryl, I don't at all. So Cheryl, I'm going to let you chat for a second while I set up some rooms here. Actually, Cheryl, you need to work on that, right?
Yes, I was going to call.
A call, because in a minute we're going to breakouts. Okay, and Michelle, go ahead and chat for a minute or two while I'm setting the rooms. Michelle, Nixon.
Okay. All right. Michelle Gwynn and I were buddies. We can both be chatting in here.
Please talk for a minute, both of you. That's great. In the rooms.
We're surrounded by Michaels and Michelle's. It's just crazy here. And I see Melanie's kind of getting in on the act a little bit with it.
Melanie, talk to you. Unmute yourself.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, I love spending time with Michelle Gwynn because she makes you productive. She keeps you focused.
That's right.
And I've got that entertainer bug, so I get a little distracted. A little ADD, right? Sometimes.
It's the squirrel in us.
It's the
as
squirrel,
entrepreneurs.
yeah.
Some shiny object. Ooh, what was that? Ooh, what was that?
Yes, for sure. So, I can't wait to tell people a little bit more about the different things that they can opt in to get the tools. And are you putting that in the main chat room here, or are you just doing that in your group? Like when they opt in to get different tools from you, Michelle?
I can certainly put it in the main chat. Usually I put it in the group, but it's really simple. It's habits to 26786.
Yeah, I think that's really good. It's important that we all get focused, especially when we're trying to start, launch, and grow a business to even greater success. So I thought what I'd like to do is, if I don't know how much time I have, Michael, so I try not to ramble. I'm trying to be focused here.
No,
But I was thinking,
like a minute and a half.
oh yeah, I wanted to show the Rainmaker Summit website, but instead I think what I'll do here, and Michelle can jump in too. It could be the Michelle and Michelle show, but this is an example of one of the things you get when you attend a Rainmaker Summit. It's a booklet and it has all kinds of really cool things, and you go, that's why it's a 3.5 day program with Bill, and he goes through and he has you really think clearly about what you want to create, and helps you with the plan on how you're going to get there. Where are you at, where do you want to go, and how you want to get there. And then he often brings up people like Michelle Gwynn and other experts that can add even more value to what Rainmaker is. So you get to network with some great entrepreneurs. You get to take what you already know and expand on that and get better. And there's a lot of things that you may not have even heard of yet, that some different ideas that will help, even get you to where you want to go faster, because technology is changing very quickly. That's why they came out with the Mobex Pro. If you're only thinking about creating a website online, but you haven't actually thought about mobile funnels, mobile websites, that's the future. And so when you spend time at Rainmaker, it's never exactly the same each time. We do add more things to it each time you show up. But when you enroll in the Rainmaker program with Power Team, you do get a back office. There are some great videos in there to learn. And also we have our weekly coaching calls ongoing, and all kinds of cool things you can download. And if you're committed to really, making your business even better and get
Have
that
a great day is
productivity.
what I say. All right, we're ready to go.
All right, so I'm rambling here.
All
We'll
right,
talk more.
Here we go. We're going to bounce into the rooms. You guys are amazing. If you need anything when you're in there, it is just the best day in the world. Have a great time. Rooms are set. Hit the go button. If for any reason you need to come back to the main stage, we'll be out here to help you. Cheryl's going to be talking about being the most amazing speaker on the planet. Have a great time in the rooms. Melanie, you are host. You can hit record. Michelle, you are, what happened to you? Michelle, you were just there a second ago. You are also a co-host, the other Michelle, and you can also record too. And don't forget to hit the record buttons. Have a great time. 50 minutes from now, I bring you back. Bye, everyone.
All right. So is Cheryl going to be,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So I'll hold off on showing Rainmaker.
Yeah, you can do it towards the end or when Cheryl.
Yeah, I'll wait till the end. All right, I'm going to mute. All right, Cheryl.
And I'll be bouncing through the rooms in a minute.
All right, Michael, you're going to text Dr. Wendy. Apparently I sent her something by mistake. I'm not sure. So what I wanted to talk to people about that are in the room, I'm hoping that we have people in this room that are still in here that either are a speaker or have an interest in being a speaker. First of all, let me know, is my volume okay? I had it up 100% before, which was a little loud, I'm sure. So Michelle, could you just let me know that the volume's okay?
Yes.
Not too loud?
You sounds good.
Okay, great, thank you. So Platinum Speaker Camp is a 5-day speaker intensive live training program that Bill Walsh created. It's the only Platinum speaker program, or call it any kind of speaker program, Platinum, $1 million, whatever name you want to put on it, label it, that actually when you go to the speaker training, that the company that you learn from, or the host of the speaking program, actually puts you on a live stage or puts you on a virtual stage. We do both. Bill Walsh has that set up as part of the Platinum Speaker Program. The Platinum Speaker Program is an intense course, as I said. It's for someone who's very serious about having a business as a speaker, and they want to learn how to sell from stage. You could already be a speaker. You could already be selling from stage. But my question to you is, how much have you sold when you've been at these events where you had the opportunity to sell? Did you do 1 sale, 5 sales, 10, 20, 30? You'd rather be 10, 20, 30. So how do you do that? Well, for one thing you're selling before you ever even get on the stage. So you know how to sell. You know what you know better than anyone else. You understand the selling process. You walk the process. You talk the process. You do the process, and you are the process. And that's what makes Bill Walsh's Platinum Speaker Program so effective, because Bill is the master at speaking and selling from stage. Excuse me. He has all the confidence in the world in his product, as I do, but I'm not the one up on the stage selling. And when he is selling that product, he just, you know the sense of confidence that he has in what he's talking about. I was with an event with him yesterday, a live event that we had in Dallas, and we're starting to open up and have these in different areas. So we were looking at the calendar, and I invite you to come out to one of our live events, our luncheons. And Bill did something that, unless you are a top-notch speaker, you don't normally ever want to do, and that is open yourself up for questions from the audience. And why is that? Well, what if they ask you a question you don't know? That's what most people's response would be, or would think. Oh my gosh, they're going to ask me something I don't know, Well, Bill's not worried about it because he knows he's going to know the answer. So he sat and took live questions from the audience, and people were asking all different types of questions about his business or their businesses. And he was giving them on-site coaching, which is very, very effective. But again, you have to be an expert in that field. And there are very few people that I've known in my 35 years in this industry that have that ability. Bill Walsh is number one. No one can sell from a stage like him. Believe you, I've been watching people. I continue to watch people. There are some people that are really good. There are some people that are very hard at selling. There are some people that promise you stuff that you're never going to get. And so if you take one of those courses, that's what you're going to be learning. And that's not going to serve you well. So what do we do with Power Team International with our Platinum Speaker Camp? Well, we're going to build your online media kit. If you're going to be a speaker and you expect to get booked and paid for it and have promoters looking at you, then you're going to have a media kit, a top-notch media kit. When you enroll and take our Platinum Speaker Camp, you're going to get that media kit created for you. We're going to build out your digital product box. So you're going to have a box that you can sell from the back of the room, because that's what a promoter wants. A promoter, when they put you on stage, if you have a book, which is important, don't get me wrong, books are great, but let's say you have a book and you're selling it and it's, I don't know, we'll say $25. That's $25 is not a good price point to be dividing up with a promoter at the percentage they're going to get. They're not going to care about putting you on the stage. They look at that more as a PR piece, something to give it out, but not anything they're going to make sales on. So what you want to do is you want to have this product box that can be sold from anywhere from, $4.97 to $9.97. Typically around $4.97, and you can sell that box, and now the promoter is making money if you're able to sell from stage, because there's going to be a good split, and their revenue share will be something that will entice them to want to have you on their stage. So once you have the product box created and you're selling that when you're on a stage, you're also going to be able to upsell people that buy that product box. And one of the things that we do at Platinum Speaker Camp is we help you to create your price point. When I say we, I'm there as a support team. Bill Walsh is the one that is creating your price point with you. Bill Walsh is the person that's creating and teaching, has created and is teaching the course. So it's very important to know that's who you're spending your 5 days with. It's not Bill runs in, Bill does a speech, he runs out, and then, we have a multitude of speakers coming in telling you what you should be doing. No, we've got the man himself, America's small business expert. Bill Walsh is the one that's going to train you. So we're going to get that media kit. We're going to get that product box. We're going to shoot your 2-minute promotional video that you're able then to use. That's also something that when you are dealing in the speaker world land, that's asked for. And if you don't have that, it just looks like they speak, but maybe it's a hobby. So you have to have all of the tools that you need in your toolbox as a speaker before you promote yourself to be a big speaker. And we're going to develop with each of you your 60-minute talk outline. Again, we're going to help you to create that, the support team that's there with Bill. But Bill's the one that at the end sits with you and really takes you through and makes the changes. And we make sure that before you go out, you are ready to be going out. So that 60-minute talk outline, getting the price points for what you charge, those are crucial to your business. We're going to create your product order form. That product order form is important because that's going to help you legally. First of all, you're going to have what it is that you're selling on the order form, but there's going to be a lot of language on the back of the form that's been written by attorneys that were paid a lot to do, that's going to protect you once the sale is made. There's also places on the front of the form for the credit cards and the signatures, and to make sure that you're doing the checkout process properly, whether it's online or in person at an event. So we're going to create your speaker promotional cards. Those are usually like a 5x7 card. It has your picture on it, what your workshop's about, and a little bit about you. Those are very great for marketing. And when we're at live expos and live events, we pass those out. And if you registered for today's event through the Global Elevation Success Summit, there's a little magazine down the right-hand at the bottom, and I just love it. And you can flip through and see everything. Well, those little cards you see, that's those speaker cards that we create for our speakers. And then we're going to have a speaker stand-up banner, much like the one there behind me. That is going to have your information, your website, how to get, what it is, your bullet points. And these are things that people that are doing that are speaking, they don't normally even know. They'll take a picture and they'll put their picture on a banner, and they're going to go to a expo and they won't have the website on it, or they don't have a text opt-in word with a text to 26786. They don't even know that that's a possibility to have that. And the bullet points on there may be something that they were teaching 4 months ago, but not teaching today. You may need to have multiple banners. That's not uncommon. We certainly do at Power Team because we have a lot of different programs. And that's something that we deal with and help to assist you with. The other thing with Platinum Speaker Camp is that when you're there, you're going to learn your icebreaker. You're going to learn your 2-minute pitch. When someone asks you, what do you do? Well, I'm a speaker. No, I speak on how to create relationship building in business. Something along those lines, whatever it is that you're speaking about. And I have a book, a best-selling book, whatever your niche is, we're going to formulate that little pitch for you. And that's so important because once you get that pitch down, then you just start saying it all the time. everywhere you go. I mean, somebody asks you, bloop, it's out. You're not stuttering. You're not trying to think of what you should be saying. Did I say it right? No, it's just going to be just like when you get up. Hopefully you all brush your teeth. Well, it's just going to be like brushing your teeth. You know it. You know it's the thing to do. So the thing with Platinum Speaker Camp too, that is very interesting, my first time that I went, that I watched, is the interaction with the group. Now, because of COVID, we decided to do very quickly our Platinum Speaker Camp virtual as well as live. There were some people that could still travel. It wasn't going to affect their health or their age group or whatever. And they went live to Las Vegas. Myself, I'm 68. I stayed in Texas and did it. The time I was actually in Alabama, I apologize. And so I did it in Alabama. And, you know, we really didn't know, because we hadn't done the Platinum Speaker Camp virtual at that point. And it was amazing. I was so impressed because it was interesting to watch the people that were doing it virtually versus the people that do it live. And it's also important to note that we only do allow 20 participants typically to a class. Might be 21, 22 if there's a partners in there. And because you can attend and then you pay your cost of $25K and the partner pays their additional cost. And so what's important with that is that when you're in the actual course and you're taking it, and if it's a small group like that, which was what I'm saying, where we were online, I was on virtual, we went into the Zoom group breakout rooms and we interacted. And we plussed people on each other on how to take this word out or how to add this word, or just really throwing out ideas. Now, in the live session, they were breaking up into little groups of 3, doing the same thing. It was just they're 6 feet apart with their mask on. And so it was a very interesting thing to watch, because the people that did it virtually have now gone and done it in person, except for the people from Canada who still can't travel. And so our next one comes up May 3rd, and it's in Barrington at our Chicago Retreat Center. And I totally invite you to come out for this program. It's one of the best programs that I've ever done. And I don't say this to boast, I'm just being honest. I have been with the best of the best of the best. And Bill, when I watch him from stage, I don't even know that he's selling. It doesn't feel like a sell. It feels like an engagement. It feels like he's asking me to be engaged in the process. And that's the feeling you want to get. You feel the heart from the person that's speaking to you, and you don't feel like you're being sold something you don't need. And not everyone needs Platinum Speaker Camp. In fact, if you're on here right now and you're listening to me, you may not be ready for Platinum Speaker Camp, because again, it's $25K. It's a 5-day intensive program, but we build out all of these different things for you. And by doing so, it gives you all the tools you need to go and get started. And I can tell you, as a speaker, you go out and you try to start all this stuff yourself, it's going to cost you a lot more than that, and you're not going to have the information that you need done properly for you. And Bill has spent millions and millions and millions on just advertising, on creating different advertising campaigns and different things over the years. He's done that. He's never been afraid to try something new. It doesn't work every time, but where he's willing to do it to see. So what does that mean? You're going to have to learn from his mistakes. And they weren't mistakes. They were just options that he tried to see, would this be the best thing to do? Because what worked last year wouldn't work this year. So you have to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt. And that's one of the things as a Platinum speaker, we teach you the different ways to adapt in the different environments. When this COVID came about, do you need something? Oh. When COVID came about, we had our expos that we weren't able to do live and we had, people signed up to do them. And what we did was we do them virtual now. We're doing Zoom expos, and the speakers are speaking and they're talking like today. And you just can't stop in your tracks and say, well, you know what? Can't you go out of the house? Can't you go to the expo center? Can't. No, it's I can. And that's where Bill is going to teach you in Platinum Speaker Camp, is how to turn your business into something that you look at always moving forward, no matter what the stop sign might be that comes along your path. How do you go past the stop sign and keep going forward on the road to success? And so I invite you to look at the Platinum Speaker Camp website. That would be platinumspeakercamp.com. Look through it, look at the video, do the little quiz on there, and see if it's a fit for you. We do register in advance. We have people that are already registered for May. We're already working with them. We do put you on a live stage. Again, that is something that other speakers do not, trainers do not do. If you have someone that actually you know of that teaches people how to speak from stage, and they will put you on their stage, and they will connect you to their promoters or to their address book. If you have that person, I want to get in touch with them. Bill's going to want to know them, okay? Because so far we haven't been able to find anyone else that does that. Now, it should be that more people did do that. That would be the right way to do it. That's the way it should be done. For years, I taught chiropractors on goal setting, motivation, how to build practices. And we would go to chiropractic workshops, spend the weekend, and go and learn all this information. Oh my gosh, people were rah, rah, rah. Oh, it's so great. And they get to their practice on Monday, coming back from the event, and they'd open up their door and they would be, wait a minute, where are all these, people, where are all these patients? What happened? I went, I paid the money. Well, yeah, but you were in an environment that just got you hyped up. You learned great information, but you had to take the information and put it into effect into your practice to make it work. Now that's where I got very successful, was because I became the rah-rah person after the event that went in and said, you're not doing what you were taught. It wasn't that they weren't taught, it's just that they didn't follow up on the work. So I would get them to follow up on what to do. That's another thing in Platinum Speaker Camp. We're going to do all these things for you, but there's things you've got to do to be a success. Nobody can just make you a success. It's not like I got pixie dust and I'm going to, just throw it out through the internet to you. You have to do the work. You have to walk the talk, as they say. And then you can be very successful. It's a very lucrative career. But you have to have a passion. You have to know this is your why. Why do you want to speak and sell from stage? What do you want to share from the world, with the world? And if there's something inside you that you know you want to share, and you know it needs to be, it needs to be shared, then you're too big to play small, as Bill says. Don't just stay home saying, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish this. I mean, I run into people and if they, whether they don't do the program at the time, they say, I wish I would have done it when I met you the first time, but I just wasn't ready. Well, maybe they weren't ready, but a lot of times people are ready, but saying I'm not ready is a really good excuse, or saying I might schedule, really good excuse. I don't have the money, really good excuse. I guarantee you, if there was something that you really want, you think on your hot list or bucket list, whatever you want to call it, but there's something you really want that's on there, that's $25K. If I told you a way to get it, are you going to tell me you wouldn't go get it if you really had a passion and that's what you really wanted to do? Of course you would. Who wouldn't? And to have the training from the world's best, And I think if you haven't had the opportunity to meet Bill, now's a good time to mention just a little bit about him. Bill Walsh is known as America's small business expert. And the reason why is because he is. He's the best at the best at that. He's been listed in Guru magazine as one of the top 30 coaches in the world. I think he's above Tony Robbins in business coaching and motivation and different things. And that magazine, you can't buy your ranking. That's voted on. And so that's important to look and track things like that, track what people are doing. But Bill started from the south side of Chicago. He first started out as a trader, got very successful on Wall Street, and he went on to do projects with MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay in Vegas. And he decided that he had a family, he had younger children at the time, and he wanted to just check out, and check out for a couple of weeks, take a vacation, just kind of get some me time back. And he ended up taking 2 years off to find out what it was he really wanted to do and what was his passion. And what he came up with was to help the small business owner. That's where he's passionate. He's a celebrity. He's a best-selling author. Bill has all these awards that he's won. I can't even mention him, but I mean, he's getting an award every month for something, sometimes several in a month. I know last month he got three awards, it seems like, that I remember congratulating him on. And so what I want to say about, if you have the opportunity to be with someone like that, that's an expert, that's the top person in their field, that's who you want to work with. He's very approachable. He's hands-on personality where you come to him direct. Bill is a straight shooter. He's like me. I'm from Texas. The slang BS, okay? There is no BS, there's nothing being slung around. What Bill says to you is fact. I can tell you, you can handshake with him on a contract deal, and he will stand up to that contract. I've seen him do it. Now, I'm not suggesting that's how you do it, but I'm just saying I would handshake with him and I would know that he would follow through on what he told me he was going to do. He's interested in what people are doing. He's very interested in bringing speakers, especially women speakers, to the world. We don't have enough women speakers. For ever, men, they were the corporate people. They had all the big titles, all the big positions. And then a woman named Mary Jo Hilliker, an attorney, but she was very young, got known, and she got hired to be general counsel. And she was one of the first female to ever do that, and for a large firm. And she's a graduate of our Platinum Speaker Camp. Now, Mary Jo was a millionaire before she came to Platinum Speaker Camp, and she already spoke, but she wanted to take her game to the highest level possible. I just received a copy of her book from her yesterday. It just came out. And when you hear her speak, it'll blow you out. I mean, you're just blown off your seat. Her story is so passionate, but it's about how to get through struggles and how to overcome. And she's very much a follower of God and Jesus. And she had to overcome a lot of tragedy. Her brother was killed by her sister-in-law, and she had to forgive that sister-in-law. And she teaches now how to break through terrible, terrible things that have happened to you in your life so that you can elevate yourself and become the best you can be. And that way you can help more people in your life. So again, that's just one woman speaker. When I said a woman speaker, I just saw her yesterday. But we have so many that have came through. Angel Tussey, Jennifer Horsful, so many of the women speaker on today have been through our Platinum Speaker Camp. And again, we're going to teach you how to sell before you ever even walk onto that stage. And you say, well, how does that work? Well, that's because when you get up onto the stage, you better already be selling yourself. You better have a style when you're walking up there. You better have a smile. You better know what you're going to say. So I really, really am excited to know, is there anyone that's in this room that has any interest in speaking right now? Or maybe you already speak. If you do, just type a 1. If you don't, that's okay. I'm just going to talk to you about something different. So do we have any speakers or authors in the room? Okay, we've got some. Okay, Rachel, why don't you tell me what you speak on? Where are you at? Let me unmute you. Or Michelle may help me with that.
Yes, I'm Rachel Johnson, and I speak mostly on low-income housing and I guess I'm a housing advocate, and I educate tenants about their rights and responsibilities, and then at the same time help them on their journey towards self-sufficiency. So I do some speaking on that and training, and I'm trying to grow it to a larger level. I have a group online called Faces of Hood Housing Unity.
Okay.
So
Good. So now, is that something that you do for a career and work for a company, and then you speak on the side?
Well, actually, I grew up in housing. My mom was an organizer and advocate, and then I grew up and lived as an adult in housing. I have a sick child and went through some struggles, and ended up, learning a lot about how to maintain my Section 8 being a low-income tenant, and the challenges of. And I started a business. I started a nonprofit organization. It's doing pretty well. And so from that I've grown my business, my housing consultant. So I'm trying to take it to another level. And so I'm here.
Well, great. Well, good for you. Well, so see, Platinum Speaker Camp is something that I would have you look at. I invite you to go onto the website at platinumspeakercamp.com. See what all it is, listen to the video, look at the people in the room, watch how they're interacting with one another, and you get a really good feel for what it's going to be like. You can kind of start seeing yourself. Mark Victor Hansen years ago taught me on realization, how to, visualizing is realizing. And put yourself in one of those seats when you're watching that video.
I actually do some speaking. I've been doing it for a long time. Lots of people ask me to come. I want to make money to go doing it. So it's time to make money doing,
Right. Well, what I want you to do, though, I'm talking about something different, is when you go onto the Platinum Speaker website, there's a video, and it's going to show people sitting in the classroom, and you'll see them working with one another and everything. And I want you to visualize you're one of those people, okay? So that you can learn how to make money from this, because I'm sure, who doesn't want to have a lot of people with knowledge speak for them for free? That's a great thing to have, A lot of preachers, when they first start out, they speak for free, but I guarantee you, Joel Olson doesn't speak for free.
Right.
Okay?
There you go.
So there it is. And you have a passion, because I heard some side stories in there about, growing up as a child, then having a child that has issues. So so you're going to be speaking that from your heart. Again, that's what we call your why. Okay? Why do I want to do that? And how do I monetize that? Because just being passionate about something is not enough. There has to be a need for it in the marketplace, and you have to be able to make money from it in order for it to be of value to spend the money for the education and training. So I invite you to look at that website, and then we can talk further. I know Michelle posted my phone number somewhere. I thought she'll post it for me. And I think there was someone else, Yolanda, you're speaking now.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello to everybody.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, I used to live in Alabama, not too far. So I'd go over to Atlanta when I lived in Alabama. So what is it that you have a passion to speak about?
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Actually, I have a passion to speak about a number of things. I kind of wanted to ask a question before I get into myself about the young lady that you were speaking of the female speaker that you were speaking of earlier.
Mary Jo Hilliker.
Mary Jo Hilliker, because I would love to get her book. My story is similar to hers.
Well, before I forget, Yolanda, just let me tell you, she speaks today. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 p.m. Is she on, Michelle, at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. And she'll be telling her story.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So it's already 3 o'clock here. So is she on Pacific time?
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, great. I would definitely be listening out for that. But my story is similar to hers, but actually I am an ordained minister.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of ministry.
She does too. She's a minister.
Yes. So I do a lot of ministry. So the platform for speaking it has never been a problem for me. Because I'm just that open and just have that that ability to do so. But now in terms of business, I don't use that part of it for business. I want to use the ability to communicate with others in business in that same way.
Well, it may be. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're not wanting to speak and be booked on stages all around the country and creating a product and different things like that, it may be that you're better to look at doing our Rainmaker program and doing the short selling program that's in with that, because platinum speaker is for someone that's wanting to do that for a living.
Oh yeah, but because again, I don't want the calling to minister to people on that platform. For me, is not to make money from it.
Right. Then what you should do. Yeah. Then what you should do, is first just look at the Rainmaker course, rainmakersummit.com, and it starts tomorrow in Vegas. It's virtual and it's live. And so you can still register and you can buy a single ticket. You can make one payment. You pay less if you make one payment, or you can make 3 payments. Once you register and you've made at least one payment, you'll get your login, you'll get the back office. You can go live when it's, serves you. We have 4 a year, and then you can always do the virtual ones time and time again, and then that's in your back office. The last day of that is what we call Icon Speaker Camp. And that helps more people that want to learn about just speaking more for their business. They're going to go to the Chamber of Commerce. So when they stand up, they don't want to freeze, or they want to be able to give their 2-minute pitch and do good at it, and be effectively communicating it. And then also there is some, speaking and selling from stage. I can say this to you as a minister. I'm not a minister, but I know God is not offended if a minister does sell and giving the money to help the church. I as a Christian, I believe that. So because, we're right now we're in the midst of, we've got a toy drive we're going to do next Saturday for kids, that's because homeless people, so many people need money, and it comes from Christ. It comes from the churches, that's where we're having to reach out to. So you could learn how to maybe better organize through Rainmaker events for your church, not that you don't organize them well now. I don't know what you do, but I'm just saying get some different ideas on how you could do that. So look at rainmakersummit.com, and then also look at platinumspeakercamp.com and see which one of those two resonates with you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for asking the question. Does anyone else have a question? It doesn't have to be about speaking. It can be about Rainmaker. Anything. I can probably help you with that. I don't want to just.
No.
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Audrey Williams from Atlanta.
Hi.
And how are you today? I'm enjoying your speech.
Thank you.
The summit. And no, yesterday for the first time, I'm a salon owner.
Okay.
And I also have a full-time job, and I'm a missionary.
Okay.
And I tried yesterday I have a passion for helping the elders, some seniors are, we call them golden agents, in promoting getting some wigs for them, for those who have lost their hair due to alopecia and cancer, or for instance. But I don't think it was my first time doing a live, but I don't know if I've done it correct. I don't think I've done it correctly, because the result was not good. So, maybe I could get some help.
Well, it may be that, it may be that what you did was good. It just wasn't promoted correctly. So you didn't have enough attendance, your marketing funnel for it. You've got several things you do there. The salon owner, is that a full-time job?
Yeah.
Well, then you don't have a lot of extra time on your hands to be promoting on, Facebook and different things like that. We have a program called Mobex Pro that could be perfect for you. And if you text 26786 to internet to 26786, you could set up a consultation with, at no charge, with Austin Walsh.
What is the text? Text to
26786 and text the word internet, INTERNET.
Okay.
Because that might be what portion you were missing. It may, again, I know that we have a large database, so we are able to put these events together, but it's hard to get people on because there is so much competition out there right now with so many different people being on doing Zoom calls all day long.
Right.
Now, if you have a passion and you're wanting to, for both your salon business and helping these people that have been affected by cancer, one of the things I would say to you then is to look at the Rainmaker program, because the Rainmaker program would give you'd look at your business plan, you'd have a 90-day accountability program, and you would be able to set up action steps of what you need to do now, and you could utilize those for both the salon business, and then you just would mirror that same business plan model for helping the elderly. I mean, it would be different things inside of the plan, but you could use a business plan template that we have you use or work with. And Rainmaker is so affordable. Again, it's live and virtual starting tomorrow, and it's $997 if you pay up front one time, or you can make 3 payments at $499. And you can go to rainmakersummit.com, rainmakersummit.com. You'll get registered, and you'll automatically, once you've made either a payment or the one payment, you will get a login into your back office, and you'll get information for how to get on the virtual call tomorrow. So that is something I think is really crucial for you. I don't know where you are financially, but I would figure out a way to do it. Because it's starting tomorrow, and it's like, my gosh, by Monday you could have turned everything around on what you're doing.
Okay.
But talk to Austin too. Put in a call to him and see what he says about, again, internet 26786. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for giving me that opportunity.
About 7 minutes, and I'm bringing you back.
Okay. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? I'm just here as a book of knowledge. David?
Okay. You go back.
You have any questions? Unmute.
And I know how to use this thing. It's crazy.
I know, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm zoomed in. I did like one of the meetings. Fully engaged. I appreciate your time and this opportunity. I'm just, right now, I'm at work, working.
Well, you're learning and working at the same time. And if there's anything that I can help you with, just feel free to reach out to me.
That's mine. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate you being on the call. I appreciate anyone that's on this call today because it takes everybody's schedule, having to do it from work. But gosh, what an entrepreneur! That just shows true spirit. I may be having to work, but I'm going to learn while I'm doing this.
Awesome. Hey, David. Hey, Cheryl, by the way, we have new people coming on. You want to just tell them a little bit about just what we're doing through the day, and then I'll bring everybody back and bring on JJ.
Right. Okay. Well, what we're doing for the rest of the day is we have amazing speakers. I mean, I know them all, and they're just amazing. And we're going to be doing networking. At the end of the day, we'll have Bill Walsh. What I was speaking about was Platinum Speaker Camp. And that's for anyone that has a passion to speak and sell from stage. So if you're just now coming on and you have that passion, just get in touch with me. My phone number's there, 256-975-0527. Or you can text the word platinum to 26786. And I can answer any questions about that program. If you have any questions about our Rainmaker program, you're going to be hearing a lot about different programs that we offer, but we aren't a cookie cutter company, okay? Bill is a visionary, and when you work with a visionary, nothing is exact mold. Now, a process is a different thing. Once we set up a process, we're going to follow that protocol, but he looks at each individual. And you're not, she's going to be a gingerbread man, and she's going to be a snowman. He's going to be, a football, whatever. He's not a cookie cutter. He's going to look at you, look at your business, and look at you as a person. And what is it that you need to be even more successful in what you've chosen to do? So that's what today's all about, is to give great content, information, to help people to find out how they can thrive during this time, to give encouragement, and to say thank you for all the success that we've been able to have, and that we still have our company, Bill's company, Power Team, and Austin, that founded it, going during this time when our main business was based on live events. So we're very, very grateful. And everyone that's just coming in, thank you for taking your time out today to come onto the call with us. Power Team itself has an amazing core team that works very closely together. You'll hear different people's names mentioned. Jennifer Nichols is Bill's administrative assistant. She's been with him 14 years. Paul Bessett, he's been with Bill, 15 years, 16 years, I don't know. He helps to coach. Michelle Nixon's been with us. She's on all these Zoom calls. She's doing a lot of social media stuff for us, the book club, the lunch meetings, and hosting meetings there at our retreat center in our ISC center in Las Vegas. Michael Silvers, of course, he's Executive Vice President of Global Training. He's trained all over the world at thousands and thousands of people. He really helps and talks about masterminds. If you have any interest in being a mastermind leader, please text the word SBA to 26786. SBA to 26786. I know that also talks about the small business program that we have, but if it's for mastermind, is that the same thing, Michelle, isn't it?
It is,
Okay.
it is. And I'm going to take over, Cheryl. You've been
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're amazing. Everybody give Cheryl a big round of applause.
Thank you.
About to bring everybody back. We are always looking for more speakers, trainers, and especially those mastermind facilitators. If that's you and you want to just see what the fit is, and it's about earning now, not later. We do this right now. Text SBA to 26786. SBA to 26786 and the team will reach out. I'm about to close the rooms in 2 minutes. I'm going to give them their 2-minute warning. I went to the rooms and it's all good in there. It's great to have all of you on. We have an amazing gentleman coming up. And Cheryl, while I'm setting the next piece, can you just I don't see him yet. I was just texting with Bill, just to make sure he's on and ready to go. That would be fantastic. So, it's learning and education all day today. We're not done yet. So we're now going to move into this is going to be main stage. So we're all on the main stage, and it's truly about having the education and knowledge. Then we'll do 2 more rounds of breakouts, and then Mr. Bill Walsh to rock your world, a little spotlight on the speakers, and then we're going to fly. Here comes a lot of people, by the way. And then we're going to fly into networking. So Michelle is going to run networking. She's going to, at that point, just generate breakout rooms. And you're going to take that 2 minutes again, 30 seconds about yourself, 90 minutes for them to mastermind your business. And she'll be running all that later and having way too much fun. Just don't close the stream like I did once. So you guys are amazing. Here comes the breakout rooms. I'm closing all the rooms. They're going to come back and they're going to party with us on the main stage, as we say, and I'm going to start the recording again. Hi, everyone. This is Michael Silvers. I want to welcome you all. First of all, if you're just new with us, the rooms are going to close in 15 seconds. We'll let the rooms close, and then we'll go from there. But I wanted to welcome you all. It's just an amazing day. I've really enjoyed the time with you. I'm trying to set the next speaker, what I'm going to say, and move it to a screen, so I'm not exactly looking away from the ball. But my computer, I knew it was going to do that when it did that. But it's really about the education and learning and really how we can make a difference. I got to be very tender with it. Okay, good. So I'm doing multiple screens. The great thing about a multiple screen when you're doing presentations is that you are able to position them so you can sort of look like looking past the shoulder. Because when you're on stage, right, you're going to be introducing like this. So this one's a little higher for me, but that's okay. I don't want to play with it too much right now. All right, is everybody back? I'm going to take the spotlight off myself for a minute, introduce myself. We're going to do a quick stretch break. Nobody go anywhere. So you can hit gallery view in the top corner. So first of all, my name is Michael Silvers. If you're new here, I am Executive Vice President for Power Team. I'm Head of Global Training. We run 300 events a year. That's live. We also do over 300 hours of virtual. We're going right back to the live events. We're already having live events now. We're doing them carefully, safe. We do what it takes. Our audience is the best on the planet. And we have a lot of new people about to pour onto this call. We're about to have the main stage coming up. You're going to have your world rock. You're going to learn a lot really about protecting yourself, which I think is an important piece. And then we're going to do 2 breakout rooms, Mr. Bill Walsh, and then we're going to have networking. You get to know each other. You get to rock your businesses and go from there. So for those of you right now, let's go ahead. Throw your arms up in the air, everybody. Throw your arms up in the air like you just don't care. I won't sing, I promise. So throw your arms up in the air. All right, just get some motion. You can lean to the left, lean to the right, watch your back. It's okay with me. I'd play music. I'd sing. Really, that would rock your world right there. You'd all be off in a second. All right, fantastic. I don't care what part of the country, the world you're in, but say hello, Michelle. We hear you more than anybody else. Okay, good. And then what I'd like you to do is put your arms in front of you. Just put your arms in front of you and start bouncing. Bounce in your chair. There we go. Bounce in your chair. Bounce in your chair. Get some blood flow. Bounce in your chair. There we go. Bouncing. And for people who just got on, they're like, what kind of seminar did I just come to? All right. Hey, I'm from the big stages. Okay, I'm from the big music, and we're always in motion. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up and being here. Round of applause. Fantastic. It's a great day because the education. So if you in a breakout, if you learned one thing already today, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box. Now the chat box is just for me and the team to see what's going on and for people to pass us information. But if you learned one thing today, and which I'm sure you all learned one thing today, but if you learned one thing today, go ahead and put it in the chat box. Just that you learned one thing today. That makes the difference, right? That it's that learning all the time that really changes everything that we do and who we are. Awesome. One thing today. That's right. One thing today. Now, if you're ready for more, so you've had the blood flow and you've had that moving, I'm going to do a shameless shout out. And I'm going to hear. Now you're going to see me straight on your screen. There we go. But I'm going to do a shameless shout out. And part of that is we are always looking, because a lot of new people just got on, we're always looking for trainers, speakers, right? With 300 events a year and also 300 hours of virtual, we're looking for obviously the best of the best. And those that are just beginning, we know how to teach you and get you here. I'm also looking for great facilitators or people that right now just say, you know what, extra stream of income would be really cool, or being able to increase cash flow, because we're looking for mastermind facilitators and I'm looking for top coaches. If that's you or something you just want to find out more about, go ahead and put text SBA to 26786. SBA to 26786. SBA to 267. Fantastic. As Director of Global Training, I'm always looking for the best speakers out there. I'm looking for the ones who really can take that to the next level and make a difference. And that's a huge piece as we're doing this. Now we have a lot more people coming on. So start texting SBA to 26786. And then I'll see, obviously, JJ Childers, if you're on, can you just make a little bit of noise so I know where you are? And let me just go back to the main screen so I just make sure you're here before, of course, because I introduce you. There you are. Okay, I'm just making sure you're here. That's all I'm doing. You'll be starting in just about 5 minutes or less. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, great. So it's that education piece that we all get together. It's really moving in a direction to make sure that we help others. And it's truly about helping others that is going to drive us. Yep, saw that. Thank you. I've got a great team here. I've got texting going on, and it's amazing. But it's about that education piece and us working together. My success has always come from working with those smarter than me, greater than me. Does that make sense to everybody? Working with those who drive in a direction. And so part of the success has been, I've been on most of the major stages. I've worked with most of the major players in business coaching and personal development. I've created courses. I've worked distant, and I've been all over the world. That's been for 22 years. So all of you out there thinking you're an entrepreneur, stop doing it yourself. I always say that all the time. Stop doing it yourself, because what happens is you get into that rut of not moving forward. So right now, I want everybody to say to yourself, I will join a team. I will not do this alone. As an entrepreneur, you want to be in a mastermind. And our mastermind is complimentary in the beginning. Come once or twice. See if that's exactly where you want to be, and we'll roll it forward. So we actually have, it's out of the Atlanta group. But I'm going to put it in the chat right now. And please come Tuesday night. Okay? There you go. And that's your Eventbrite link. Come to the mastermind. Mastermind your business. Show that you can do more and be more. However that looks for you is a really critical piece. But come to that mastermind, that Atlanta group. They're rocking and rolling all over the planet. But being part of a mastermind allows you to become greater than you are, but help other people and be of service, which is the most critical piece of really everything that we build. When I first started in masterminds, they were gentlemen named Mark Victor Hansons and Tony Robbins and T. Harv Akers and there's all these speakers out there that I was part of all that. So not only have I been helping the organizations or building the courses or speaking on the stage or emceeing but I've also taken every course on the planet. Literally, I was told 22 years ago by a gentleman named Bob Proctor, buy every course and read every book. And reading is slow, so I do what I can. And then, of course, books on tape came out. But I took every course and invested in myself. So I'm expecting all of you to truly, truly, truly invest in yourselves. So text SBA to 26786. Join that mastermind on Tuesday. Doesn't matter where you live in the world. You're going to see me run the mastermind. I will answer questions. I will take you to whatever that next universe you need to be put in, and we'll be there for you 1,000%. And that's what this is all about. So text SBA to 26786. Okay, now we're getting close to time to rock and roll. This is where we really, are able to make a difference in our lives and drive those to the next level. We do the main stage because that's where we all come together as a community. So we do the breakout so you get the individual, and then we come to the main stage. And on the main stage, it's now you've just entered the room. So think of yourself as an event. So this is not turn the cameras off and go do something else. This is focus on the education and information that is about to come your way. This is to take your life to the next level. And these mentors that we bring are really here for you. They're here for you today. They're here to educate and train. They're here to make a difference in everything that you do. And they are here to impart information that if you watch the chat box, people like Michelle and the team will be typing notes. Whatever JJ brings you, they'll be typing notes the whole way through. So you can get the experience by the verbal, right? You're getting the visual, right? And you're getting the information for the audio digitals down below in the chat. But don't focus on the chat. And remember, the chat is for the team. So no shameless promotion. You guys have been amazing today. And the one person who did said, oops, and you guys, you're awesome. So here we go. We're rolling. All right, JJ, you ready? I'm going to intro. I wanted to welcome everybody to the call today. I'm so excited by our speaker, our trainer. The great thing about him is that he lives it every day. That he's actually truly doing what he says he's going to do. He takes that to the next level, and those are the kind of people that I like to work with. JJ Childers is a licensed attorney who helps entrepreneurs, small business owners, and investors design and structure protection plans for safeguarding their assets without all the confusion, complication, and costs often associated with the process. He has been practicing law for 25 years in the areas of asset protection and estate planning. In addition to his law degree, he's enrolled in the LLM program in dispute resolution at Pepperdine University School of Law. I know that one well. And the program on negotiation offered through Harvard Law School Executive Extension Division. He is the author of numerous books, courses, and training programs providing instruction on wealth protection, and is highly sought after speaker on a wide variety of topics related to legal protection planning. Without any further ado, everybody, you know how to do this? Give a huge thunderous round of applause for JJ Childers. JJ!
Hey, it's great to be with everybody.
How you doing today?
I'm doing so well. It's great to be here. I tell you what, I love it, the fact that we got craziness going on all over the place, but nothing's going to stop people from getting their business up and going, making money, moving, shaking, making things happen. So we've got a lot of work to do to make sure we protect all of that. Well, I tell you, I'm excited to be here. And one of the things I'm going to do, Michael, is it okay? Can I share my screen?
You sure can.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this up there for you so we can get this taken care of so that you'll have some things to follow along with me as far as moving, shaking, making this happen. And you tell me as long as we can make this. Can you see everything on there?
That is perfect.
All right, very good. Well, I tell you, we're going to be talking about wealth protection today. And, I appreciate that strong introduction, Michael. That was amazing. I tell you, honestly, though, it kind of makes me look around and say, who's he talking about? This guy sounds pretty impressive. But, one of the things that kind of reminds me, I was speaking to a group several years ago, and when they introduced me as the nation's premier wealth preservation strategist. And I said, wow, I think I could get accustomed to that. I like the sound of that, the nation's premier wealth preservation strategist. So I kind of thought to myself, well, maybe I should start referring to myself that way. Maybe I'll put it on my business cards. I'll put it on my website. I'll get that taken care of. And I decided to try it out at home. Well, I got home from that event and I came in. I was sitting in my leather chair taking in the day's news programs. And my wife came in and she was carrying this, it's kind of like a plastic rectangular container that holds clothes. I think they call it a laundry basket. She kind of set it down in front of me. She said, hey, I'm glad you're home. I need some help around here. Tell you what, how about you put away some laundry? Well, I just kind of looked at him and I said, excuse me, I just got home from a trip. I was kind of busy. I'm tired, and now you're asking me to do this. And I said, besides that, I don't think you understand who you're talking to. I said, I just got back from an event where I was referred to as the nation's premier wealth preservation strategist, and now you're asking me to put away laundry? Please. Well, she just kind of set that basket down. She looked at me, she said, well, I tell you what, Mr. Nation's premier wealth preservation strategist, if you'd like to preserve 50% of your assets, you'll put away some laundry. Well, as you can imagine, I put today is not how to get out of trouble. We're going to talk about how to stay out of trouble, because that's what's so important here. We're going to be talking about that through the use of legal strategies, legal entities that can help us to make sure that we properly safeguard our assets from really the things that are threats to that overall process. I'm going to take you through that. But as we begin, I want to start off and make sure that everybody knows I kind of refer to things as a tale of two systems. And what I mean by that is that we've got two different systems in this country. We've got one for businesses and we've got one for individuals. And one of the things I want to make sure that everybody understands is that, make no mistake about it, but the system is rigged against you. And the challenge we have is that you can't win when the system's rigged. What you've got to do is you've got to change your position. Instead of abiding by one set of rules, you've got to change that set of rules and make sure that you're abiding by the set of rules that are going to give you the greatest benefit. Obviously, if we look at these two, individuals do not get the greatest benefits in our system. What we've got to make sure that we do is get into a position where we are going to be able to maximize the benefits, the advantages, all of the strengths, all of the benefits that we're able to get as a business. So what we're looking at here is making sure that we structure ourselves the right way. The way to take advantage of that is that you've got to structure yourself as a business. Well, that doesn't just happen. You've got to actually take steps to structure yourself as a business. Because if you don't, by default, you're automatically an individual. And if you're automatically an individual, you have to abide by the system that's been set up for individuals. And unfortunately, that system is rigged. Now, if you doubt me on that, I brought some information to share with you. Let's take a look at this for just a second. When we say that the system is rigged, first of all, here's basically some data to back this up. First of all, here's an article that says Americans are right to think that the economy is rigged. Because, I can tell you about it, but this substantiates it as well. Here's Entrepreneur Magazine. It says, you're right, the system is rigged against you. Here's how to hack it. So when we're talking about the system is rigged, this is Entrepreneur Magazine saying, essentially, you got to set up a business, work around it. Life isn't fair. Well, the way to work around it is to set up a business and make sure that you're structured the right way as that business. Then the next thing we take a look at is income inequality. The U.S. system is now officially rigged to help the super rich, new data show. So, and these are recent articles. This is not all that long ago. This is basically saying that we have support that it is absolutely rigged. This is something I've been telling people for years, but now people are just now getting wind of this, or I think people understood this. They just didn't really understand how they could do something about it. Well, that's what we're going to be sharing here today during this presentation. This, when we talk about that, basically, how do you get involved in the type of a system that's going to be rigged in your favor, not rigged against you like you've been in. And essentially, this is what happens by default. You're automatically, by default, in a position where the system is rigged against you, unless you do something to change that. So when we talk about changing that, really what you've got to change is your role. And what I tell people, and this is probably the most important part of understanding all of it, it's not the legal part that you have to understand, it's the mindset, the psychological aspect of everything that's going to prepare you for really understanding how to take advantage of all of the legal and tax and all of the entity benefits that you're able to get. But it all starts right here. Number one, you've got to stop thinking like individuals. And I would probably add to that, I'd say stop thinking and acting like individuals. Well, if you got to stop doing one thing, you got to start doing something else. So when I say stop thinking like individuals, stop acting like individuals, that means you need to start thinking like entities. Start thinking like businesses. Well, a lot of times people will say, yeah, I get that. I see what you're saying. I'm gonna stop that. And then 1 minute later, they'll ask me a question that clearly demonstrates that they don't get it. Because what happens is they say, okay, yeah, I get that. Let's move on to something more substantive. And then they'll say, okay, how do I pull money out to myself? I'll say, first of all, why on earth would you want to pull money out to yourself? And they say, well, because if I pull money out to myself, now I can buy things. I say, so let me see if I understand what you're trying to do. You're asking me to teach you how to pull money out of a business that could deduct that expense, which is essentially means get a significant discount on it. You would like for me to teach you how to move from that position to pulling the money to you personally, where you have to pay taxes on it, and then you don't get to deduct that expense. Do you really want me to teach you that? You already know how to do that. That's basically the system you're in. When we're talking about the system is rigged against you, we're going to you're going to be treated like an individual. Being treated like an individual is exactly what is meant when we say the system is rigged. Basically, it works like this. You make money, you pay taxes on that money, you get to spend whatever's left over. Well, if there's not enough left over to take care of all of your wants and needs, you suffer. Okay, let's change the role here, and we say, now we're going to think and act like an entity. Entities generate income, they spend those dollars on whatever is ordinary and necessary for their business, and they get a deduction for that against that income, and then they pay taxes on what's left over if there's anything left over. If there's not anything left over, well then guess what? Who suffers? The government suffers. That's the type of situation we need to be involved in, where we're able to make sure that we have the system that is made to be rigged, not against us, but in our favor. So now it's as if we have a tailwind behind us, so we're that much better positioned for success. So when we look at this, when I say change the world, this right here is probably the single most important thing you can do. It's not setting up your entity, it's making sure that you act like that entity. All right, so now let's take a look at what I call wealth protection essentials. When we're talking about the wealth protection essentials, these are things that you need to be taking a look at when it comes to understanding the overall process of wealth protection. Wealth preservation, wealth protection, whatever you want to call it. But first of all, we need to understand that wealth protection, asset protection, if you will, is about the transfer of risk. Now, similar to insurance, when we're talking about insurance and we say that insurance is really the transfer of risk away from ourselves over to somebody else, namely, we're talking about the insurance company. So the insurance company is saying, okay, guess what? In exchange for a fee, that's your premium, we will provide you with coverage where you're transferring the risk of loss away from yourself over to us. So we're similar with asset protection, because what we're doing is we're transferring our risk of losing all of our assets away from ourselves over to a different legal entity. Now, that legal entity may be something like a limited partnership, it could be a limited liability company, it could be maybe a corporation, and now whether that's a C corporation or an S corporation, that's something else we've got to factor in. But really what we're looking here is that the transfer of risk away from us to somebody else. Now, a lot of times I teach this at the various events where I'm speaking, throughout the country, throughout the world for that matter, and people say, the transfer of risk away from myself to somebody else. I like it. I like it a lot. Fact is, I have somebody in mind. But it doesn't always work like that. You can't just arbitrarily designate somebody to just assign all of your risk over to. However, what if we set up a brand new person to whom we transferred this risk? Well, that's exactly what we're doing when we set up a brand new legal entity. When I say set up that brand new legal entity, that may be the corporation, may be the S corporation, may be the limited partnership, may be the limited liability company. But it's important for us to understand that when we set up that legal entity, understand, I'm just going to use an example of a limited liability company. What that means is that the liability is limited to everything that is in that company. Now, the reason I point this out is that I'm saying this is not just one and done. This is not a situation where you say, okay, I'm going to set up one legal entity and I'm never going to have to think about it again. No, as your assets grow, as your business grows, as the number of activities that you're involved in, as that grows, you've got to make sure that your wealth protection plan grows along with that. Now, that's why we want to make sure that we're not just trying to do the absolute minimum. What we need is an overall well thought out protection plan. Now, as part of that, I have up here, it says timing. Well, the reason I put that up here is because it's so vitally important to everything that we do. When we're talking about timing, basically, this is critical. Just like when we're trading stocks in the stock market, it depends on when you buy and when you sell that stock. If you're investing in real estate, it depends on when you bought that property and when you sell that property. The whole benefit of a good property is when did you buy it? At what point did you buy it? Because the property didn't necessarily change, the market changed, the conditions changed. That's where we're making sure that we are timing appropriately. Now, when it comes to asset protection, similar in that with asset protection, you've got to make sure that you set this up before rather than after something occurs. And when we're saying before rather than after something occurs, this is important because here's the thing. I like to think that there's no such thing as a stupid question, but there are some that are what I'll refer to as borderline. And I'm going to give you an example. A lot of times I ask people the question, I say, when is the time to have a protection plan in place? Before it's too late or after it's too late? Well, obviously, the answer to that question is we want to have it in place before it's too late. However, I ask a follow-up question and I say, when do most people get burglar alarms installed? Well, unfortunately, it's after they've been burglarized in many instances, if not most instances. You see, the thing is, we know what we should do, but in reality, we don't do it. It's the exact same thing when it comes to your wealth protection plan. I've seen so many instances where somebody will think, okay, I'm going to start a business, and at some point, I know I need to set up a business entity for this business, and I'm going to get around to it. And they're so busy starting their business, they're working on all the things that go into being successful in that business, that they just table the overall task of implementing their protection plan. Well, once they tabled that task, they never get around to it, and then something happens, such as a lawsuit. And then they think, now is the time, I better get involved with something, I better get on this, I better start doing this right now. But at that point, it's too late. Because if you set up your legal entity, and you transfer that business, you transfer those assets, you transfer your properties, you transfer all of that into that entity after you've been sued, well, now you've committed fraud. That's what's called a fraudulent transfer and conveyance. So if you think about fraud, that's one of the few things it's serious trouble for. Now, with a transfer or conveyance, essentially they're going to set aside transfer and they're going to pull it right back out to you, so that now you stand all, not just the assets in your business, but all of your assets, your personal assets. Depending upon where you live, it could potentially be your home. So you think about this, you could have avoided all of it by spending a couple $1,000s to set up a plan to implement some sort of limited liability protection. Unfortunately, people don't do that because they're worried about that couple of $1,000s and they say, well, I don't know if I want to incur that expense right now. And then it turns out that could have been the best money they ever spent. You've got to make sure that you put this in place before it's too late rather than after. Now, the next thing we talk about here on this list is the tools, but I'm going to combine that with tactics, and I'll tell you why. First of all, tools are things such as limited liability companies, limited partnerships, trust, corporations, whatever type of legal entity you're using. Well, guess what? All of those are absolutely worthless if you don't combine them with tactics. Now, at the same time, I want to make sure that you understand, let's say we have all the tactics. We understand limited liability companies inside and out. We understand the inner workings of S corporations, trust, We are the nation's leading expert on all the tactics on how you use this tool, but you don't have the tool. Combined with tactics. Tactics are vitally important, but only if you have the right tools with which to implement those tactics. So we've got to make sure that we do these things at the same time. So for those of you that have an overall structure in place, maybe you have a limited liability company, my question would be, do you know how to use it? Are you maximizing it? Are you getting the maximum benefit out of that? Do you even know? One of the things that we do when we work with our clients is we take a look at their existing plan and say, okay, let's take an assessment, kind of a snapshot in time, if you will. And we say, where are you right now? Where are you hoping to go? How close are you to that? And then we develop a plan to help them figure out exactly what they need to get to that point. That's exactly what we do. And that's why our clients love us so much, because we're able to make sure that we give them that peace of mind where they sleep much more easily at night, knowing that their assets are protected, knowing that everything that they've spent their entire lifetimes accumulating is not going to be lost just because of a lawsuit, knowing that their family is taken care of. That's what wealth protection is all about. But that can only occur if you transfer your assets into an overall protection plan that's going to give you that type of protection. Because if you set up your plan, and let's say whether it's maybe your estate plan or whether it's your asset protection plan, but you don't transfer the actual assets in there, you don't get the protection. It's as if you've got a storm shelter in your house, but you don't go inside it during the storm. It's not going to give you any protection, even though it's maybe the best storm shelter that's ever been constructed. If you don't actually place yourself and your assets inside that structure, they can all be lost. So transfers of assets are vitally important. And then the next thing we want to talk about and take a look at is tax planning. Because when we're looking at tax planning, it's vitally important that you understand that.
All right, JJ, you still there? Lost you. All right, everybody. I know he'll be right back on. Sometimes, as we know in the great internet world, that has a tendency of going away. And it does happen, and that's okay. And he'll be back in a minute and let me know when he's on. You know, it's the kind of thing that you want to take this information and make sure that you're learning from every step of the way. Taking notes, good questions, and as the questions continue, obviously, we'll obviously address those. And if JJ has time at the end, oh, there he is. All right, JJ, you back with us? I'll let him come back on. You can just unmute yourself, and I know you're good to go. But it's, keep asking the questions and everything that you hear, we go. Fantastic. He's just getting his slide deck ready. But it's really being able to address how this not only affects you, but, it is so important to look at your family and everybody around you and to be protected. We know and there we go. He's almost ready. All right, you ready, JJ?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go.
All right. Hey, thanks, Michael. Sorry about that. I appreciate everybody bearing with me. I don't know what's going on here, but kind of some craziness. But, one of the things we were talking about is tax planning. And the important thing when we're talking about tax planning is understand that planning is one of the most important parts of this. Because, yes, taxes are going to be a part of life, but you have to understand you have to prepare and plan for taxes before you ever make the money. That's one of the things that people get wrong, and they end up paying far, far, far too much in taxes as a result of this. Because here's the thing. There are different types of income. Depending upon how you received your income, now there's earned income, there's unearned income, There's long-term capital gains, there's short-term capital gains, there's rents, there's royalties, there's all sorts of different types of income. So we've got to make sure that we structure ourselves and structure the manner in which we will be receiving this income right at the beginning. You can't go back after the fact and say, you know, I probably structured that in a way that I could have had as unearned income. Well, once you've designated the manner for earning that income, or the manner in which you are generating that income is probably a better way of saying it, that's going to determine how that income is going to be taxed. So if you look at it and you say, okay, you know, maybe I was going to set up that S corporation, and you say, I just want to wait and see what type of a year I have and see how this stuff is going to work for me. You know, Michael, I would say you, of all people, know this all too well, that, hey, you may start a business and you may say, yeah, I've got some good hopes for that business, but guess what? It takes off beyond your wildest dreams. Your projections that you thought it was going to do, wow, you shot way too low. And, you know, you're not the type of guy that shoots too low, Michael. You know, it's one of those things that you say, hey, this thing did way better than I thought it was going to do. And I wish I had known that in advance, so maybe I should have set up a different type of entity. And we've got to make sure that we do that, because that's what I'm saying. Michael knows very well how something can take off better than you ever dreamed. You guys are on this call. You're part of this overall summit, not because you said, I didn't have anything else to do this week. No, you're here because you want to build wealth for yourselves, you want to build it for your families. And I'm going to tell you, you're in the right place, which is part of why they've brought us in here, is to help you guys to position yourselves to safeguard that wealth. Because it's not a matter of if you're going to make any money, it's a matter of how much and how quickly. So we've got to make sure that business risks. Your success is actually a risk, because the greater your success, the greater amount of money that you're going to be exposed to in the form of taxes. So we've got to make sure that we plan from the very beginning on how we're going to receive that income. By making some slight tweaks, we can save some significant amounts of money. We're going to be talking about that through specific strategies, which requires training. And that's what this presentation is all about. And it's what we do in working with our clients. This is not where somebody calls us, we set it up and forget it. It's not a set it and forget it type of an arrangement. This is, hey, we're going to set this up, but then we also help work with our clients to make sure that they understand how to operate this. So let's take a look at how we do some of those things. First of all, we've got to understand what it is that we're protecting our assets from. When we're talking about protecting, okay, let's take a look at what we're protecting our assets from. When we're saying protecting our assets from, we've got three financial destroyers. The financial destroyers are, I believe that the government and other sources are attempting to place what I call a lid on wealth. And the reason I refer to it as the lid on wealth is that the financial destroyers are lawsuits, income taxes, and death taxes. Lawsuits, income taxes, and death taxes. Now see, that acronym, the L for lawsuits, the I for income taxes, the D for death taxes, that's our lid. And the reason that I do that is because it's important to me that you understand this. I want to make sure that you understand what we're dealing with, so that we understand what we need to put in place to protect against these financial destroyers. Now, lawsuits can and will destroy you if you don't have a plan to protect against those lawsuits. That's why you need limited liability protection. Income taxes are a fact of life. You will face income taxes each and every year that you have income. As a result, you've got to make sure you have a plan in place for minimizing those taxes to the lowest amount legally possible. Now, notice that word is very important there. It's an operative word in that statement, legally possible. Yes, there are indeed ways to significantly reduce, if not eliminate, certain taxes. By the way, you like that sound of the word eliminate certain taxes? Well, that's absolutely what we're able to do, and we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. And then finally, death taxes. You know, this one just kind of adds insult to injury. We've been paying taxes our entire lifetime, and then when we die, guess what? We get taxed on that money again. So we've got to make sure we have a plan to overcome this. And we do that through the use of legal entities. Now, the first entity I want to talk to you about is the living trust. And the reason I want to talk about that first is something that I refer to as first things first. We want to take care of the most important things right from the very beginning. And the most important thing is going to be your family. Part of the reason that you are even trying to generate income, part of the reason you're even on this webinar right now is that you want to learn how to increase the amount of your income and increase the amount of your overall wealth. Well, as you do that, it's probably because you want to provide not only for yourself, but also for your family. That's why you've got to make sure you have a plan in place to ensure that that money goes to your family rather than going to probably your least favorite uncle, Uncle Sam. Let's take a look at how this all works. We're looking at a living trust. The primary reason for a living trust is to avoid probate. Now, I want to point out, I did not say the primary reason was to avoid lawsuits. I want to point out, I did not say the primary reason was to avoid income taxes, nor did I say the primary reason was to avoid death taxes. The primary reason is to avoid probate. Well, sometimes I kind of kid with people. I say, okay, we've covered everything we need to know with regard to a living trust. Let's move on. And people will say, I don't think so. I have a question. That question looks like this right here. What is probate? Sometimes people say, well, what is probate? And that's where I say, okay, well, we've got to take a look at what is probate exactly. Well, let me give you my brief description. For many people, they hear this brief description and they say, that's all I need to know. Where do I sign? Well, that brief description is this right here. Probate is a process set up by the government. Now, some of you on right now may say, hey, enough said, get me out of this. How do I get out? Well, let me give you the remainder of that definition. Probate is a process set up by the government for the orderly distribution of assets upon death. Now, when I look at this, at first glance, that doesn't sound so bad. You see, I believe there should be a process set up for the orderly distribution of assets upon death. I guess the challenge I have here is with 3 words. Those 3 words are by the government. Now, is the government known for its efficiency in processing? Hardly. The government is known for bureaucracy. The government is known for making things difficult. The government is known for making sure that they have draconian measures that can end up taking advantage of all of our hard-earned work throughout our entire lifetimes and not giving it to our families, but taking too much of it for themselves. As with all good government programs, there are many, many, many steps involved in the probate process. Well, the challenge here is anytime we have many, many, many steps involved, we've got a couple problems. Now, that first problem is that it's time consuming. Now, I'm going to share this. When I use the term time consuming, first of all, that's somewhat subjective. And when I say it's subjective, I look at it like this. Some people may look at golf and say it's not all that time consuming. Well, a round typically takes 4 hours. It takes 4 hours to play a round of golf. Somebody that's an avid golfer, they say, well, it's not all that time consuming. I mean, the time flew by. I had a great time. Well, if you ask their wife, they may have a different view of things. They may say, my goodness, they was out there for 4 hours. That's very time consuming. So I've got to quantify this. And the reason I point this out is, let's say that the average length of time for probate, and this is important for you to know, studies have shown, statistics have been demonstrated that this is an 11 to 14 month process on average. Now, by definition, when I say average, that means that some take longer, but in fairness, some are shorter. Well, here's what I've found. The reason that we have some that are far longer and some that are far shorter, number one, is because different estates are more complex than others. If we're looking at an estate that doesn't have many assets, we're looking at an estate that doesn't have multiple businesses. It doesn't have multiple business entities. It doesn't have real estate. It doesn't have, perhaps properties that are owned in multiple jurisdictions. That can go much more quickly, but we're still looking at the 11 to 14 months on average. Because by the way, if you have multiple businesses, if you have multiple properties, if you have a complex situation, that's because you're not average. And none of us is on this webinar because we want to be average. Is everyone with me on that? We want to make sure that we are above average. Well, one of the challenges here is the more above average you are, the more you are going to deal with the challenges of probate. unless, of course, you take advantage of some of the strategies that can help you with that. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, the second challenge we have is anything that's taking 11 to 14 months on average, it's going to have attorneys involved. It's going to have accountants involved. It's going to have other professionals involved. It's going to have fees involved. All of that adds up to an expensive overall process. You know, I've seen statistics where it says, you know, that the average expenses involved in the probate process can be anywhere from 8 to 12% of the gross value of the estate. Well, think about that. The gross value, that's a significantly much larger overall than if we're just talking about the net worth of that individual. Gross value, that's factoring in everything at top dollar. So we're talking about a significant amount of money here. And what you're going to find, whenever you pass away, your estate may be valued far greater than you valued it when it comes to imposing all of these different fees. So we've got to do something about it. Well, I brought you a couple pictures to take a look at. First of all, this illustration right here that says there are many steps involved in the probate process. It takes a lot of time and money. Now, obviously, you can't see all of these steps involved with the estate executor's duties during the probate process, and you're not meant to look at all of these. You're meant to see the complexity that's involved here so you can appreciate the significant, extraordinary nature of how much is involved. But then here's something else to consider. First of all, when you go through probate, it's like a giant funnel, where in that funnel, all of your assets go through this funnel. We're talking about your checking accounts, your home, your other real estate, maybe your investments, your stocks, your bonds, your vehicles, all of those assets, your personal home furnishings. And once they go through that probate funnel, you've got all of the fees that are involved, and those are appraisal fees, accounting fees, attorney fees, professional fees, all sorts of things that come out of this. And plus you have potential taxes. That leaves a small amount that is left for your heirs and well, let's take a look at how it works when we have a living trust. When we have a living trust in place, you change the title of your assets out of your personal name over into the name of your trust. Well, once you do that, you avoid probate. Remember, we said the primary reason to set up this living trust is so that we avoid the probate process. Well, that's what we've got to make sure that we do. And then we have all of this that's left for our heirs and beneficiaries, which is why we work so hard to accumulate all of these things in the first place. We've got to make sure that we get the benefits that we've set for ourselves. But then the next thing we've got to take a look at is what I refer to as living trust essentials. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these in exhaustive detail. This is something that we do when we're working with our clients to get their plans set up, but I do want to at least provide you with a quick list, and I put all this up here for you, and I'll go over it just briefly. First of all, your living trust needs to have a trust document. That's going to be the governing documents, otherwise known as a trust agreement, that outlines how does the trust work? Who are you leaving your assets to? Who is the trustee? What can the trustee do? What types of provisions are in place to safeguard your assets through this overall process? That's going to be the most important document that makes up the overall estate planning portfolio. Next, you're going to have Schedule A. That's where you're going to have a listing of your assets. Did you transfer your home into this trust? Did you transfer your personal property, your personal assets, your personal effects? Did you transfer any business interests, such as your units of ownership in your LLC, your shares of stock in your C corporation, your shares of stock in your S corporation? Then next, we're going to have a certification of trust. This is kind of a condensed version of the trust, so that in the event when you're having to provide a copy of a trust document to open a bank account or to prove that you really do have authorization to act on behalf of this trust, you don't want to show them the entirety of the trust. You would rather show them a condensed version because it's none of their business what's contained and how your trust will take care of your assets. You just want to make sure that you're able to provide this condensed version so that they don't see all of the details. And then next, you'll notice that I've got power of attorney for financial and I've got power of attorney for medical. Well, the reason I've got both is because these are two different documents. This may be two completely different people that are exercising these roles. So you've got to make sure that both of these are in place. Next, we have the living will and also your healthcare directives. This is where you list, do you want to be hooked up to a life support system? Do you not? Do you want artificial hydration, artificial nutrition? Under what circumstances would you like that to be provided? Perhaps not provided. This is very important. Next, we have a will. This is actually, sometimes people mistakenly think, well, I have a will, I don't need a trust. Or vice versa, I have a trust, I don't need a will. You actually need both. And what you're needing here is a pour-over will. And what that is basically in the event that you forget to transfer any assets into your trust, we need to make sure that those will not go through the probate process, will not go through the intestate succession process, which means that the government tells you how those assets will be distributed. We need to have the control. That is exercised through this pour-over will. And this is something that we talk with our clients about and explain to them all of the components in much greater detail so that they really understand what all is involved. And that's something that I highly recommend for anybody, is take the opportunity to talk with us about how to make sure that you know what type of plan you need to at least be considering. And then next we have funding instructions. How do you transfer your assets into the trust? Then final instructions. Who's going to do, perhaps, are you going to be buried? Are you going to be cremated? Are there things that you want to have handled in a certain way for any sort of memorial service or a celebration of life? All sorts of things where when you pass away, there's a lot that has to be taken care of. That's where final instructions come in. And then finally, I always advise people, be sure to work with an attorney that can review these documents to ensure that they've been working and crafted correctly to make sure that you have everything in place. Well, now I want to talk to you about asset protection, or as I refer to it, covering your assets. We've got to make sure that we cover your assets because it's dangerous out there. Well, how do you do that? Well, first of all, let's take a look at what we're dealing with. When it comes to lawsuits, it's not a matter of if you'll be sued in business. It's more likely a matter of when you'll be sued. Here's how it was characterized by a Newsweek cover story. And I don't know if you can see the date on there, but that's December 15th, 2003. It's described as lawsuit hell, how fear of litigation is paralyzing our profession. Basically, what we're talking about here in this article is that people are saying, I'm leaving my entire profession. Well, I just want to get out because I can't deal with all of the lawsuits that are a part of this overall process. So you know what? If you don't have a plan in place, this can be pretty scary. In fact, even if you do have a plan in place, it can be scary, but we're going to minimize, we're going to lessen that overall scariness as much as possible because we have the ability to put in place a plan. Remember, I told you from the outset that there are two systems, one for individuals, one for businesses. As individuals, we get absolutely zero protection from lawsuits. Businesses, however, have the ability to get limited liability. So what we can do through limited liability is to significantly mitigate any risk that we're dealing with. As individuals, no such opportunity. Let's take a look at how we do that. First of all, when we talk about protection strategies and how this works, one is that I always say we need to follow a concept I call isolation and insulation. Now, you've probably utilized this strategy in some parts of your life, and it's this strategy right here. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. When we say don't put all your eggs in one basket, what we're saying is that if all of your assets are in one legal entity and something happens to that legal entity, you stand to lose all of your assets. Well, as an individual, that's exactly what you're doing. Well, sometimes people make the mistake and they say, okay, well, I'm going to set up one legal entity. And because I set up that one legal entity, I don't have to worry about that anymore. No, by setting up that one single legal entity, all you have done is said, okay, I'm going to put all of my business assets into one business basket. If something happens to that basket, you've lost all your business eggs. What you've got to do is divide. It's not divide and conquer, it's divide to keep from being conquered. You want to divide up your assets into individual baskets. Divide your assets into individual entities to isolate them so as to insulate them from the liability of other legal entities or legal activities. So we've got to make sure that we do this in a way. You need an overall structure. It's not a one and done, as I referenced earlier. This is an overall plan, a system, a method of doing things that provides you with the greatest protection possible. Well, now, In order to do that, you've got to be proactive. You can't be reactive. We talked about this earlier. If you try to do this after the fact, now that could be a fraudulent transfer and conveyance. This has to be done from the beginning. So people ask me the question, they say, when do I need to think about putting a wealth protection plan in place? And my answer is typically yesterday. But obviously you can't go back in time, so the best time to do it is today. Because we can't change the past. We can't control the future, but we can certainly prepare for the future. Can't prepare for the past, but we can prepare for the future. That's how the wealth protection planning process has to be implemented. Let's take a look at how this works. And the way I like to look at this is, I want to talk to you briefly about a quick strategy that I refer to as the ultimate asset protection strategy. And basically, if you want to get ultimate asset protection, you need to either own nothing or do nothing. Well, that may sound kind of strange to you because you think, own nothing, that's not what I want to set out for myself. Do nothing, that's not what I want to set as my objective. How am I going to get ahead in life? Well, guess what? As an individual, this will not work for you. The good news is you don't think like individuals, you think like legal entities. As such, here's how it works. Because let's back up for a second. If you own nothing and I sue you for everything you own and I win, well, what do I get? All of nothing is still nothing. Okay? Well, if you do nothing, what am I going to sue you for? Well, nothing. So we've got to make sure that we have this put in place to ensure that we've got everything taken care of. This only works through legal entities. What if we had one entity that owns everything but does nothing? We've got another entity that does everything but owns nothing. Do you see how that works? That's how this is taken care of. But this requires entity structuring. Well, I want to show you a quick example of how this structure takes effect. If we look at this for just a second, look at this illustration right here. First of all, we've got one entity that's going to own everything but do nothing. And we're going to have another entity that does everything but owns nothing. Entity one owns all our assets, our property, but it doesn't do anything as far as meeting with the public. That's what entity two does. Well, if you're interacting and conducting business with the public, that's going to give rise to a potential lawsuit. Well, when the lawsuit comes, it's going to come against the entity that is conducting the business. Well, the beauty of that is that that entity stands to lose its assets. The beauty of our structure here is that we've got essentially a wall that lawsuit cannot penetrate through that gives us the protection because all of those assets in the property was structured through the use of a lease agreement and the money flowed from entity two back to entity one, and that money, those assets, everything is safeguarded. This is truly amazing how we structure this, but it's got to be done the right way. And it's not just a do-it-yourself thing. This is something that requires a lease agreement. It requires the right entities. It requires a knowledge of how to do this. Well, here's another example. Let's say that you own intellectual property, because a lot of you I know as trainers, as coaches, as authors, and you've got intellectual property. Well, what if that intellectual property is owned by a separate entity and then the marketing is done by a different entity? Well, now the lawsuit comes. It comes against the one that conducts the business. That owner of the intellectual property can cancel the licensing agreement and start up a brand new legal entity to conduct business and enter into a new licensing agreement with that one. This is something that we work with some of the top internet marketers, some of the top coaches, some of the top authors. We help them to structure things in a way so that they're able to safeguard all of this. So we've got to make sure that we do things the right way right from the very beginning. But that leads us to tax reduction. You know, I say this for last, but it's certainly one of the things that we've got to think about right from the very beginning. And when I say think about this right from the very beginning, we've got to make sure that, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a plan in place. When we say a plan, you've got to plan how you're going to receive your income. That's dependent upon the type of business structure you are. But I want to talk to you for a second. When we say tax reduction, for many people, those two words don't even go together. And part of the reason for that is that it's almost like it's an oxymoron. Tax and reduction, that's like saying jumbo shrimp. Well, here's what we look at here. When it comes to income taxes, Here's something to consider. Americans spend more dollars per capita on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. It's unbelievable to me, but it's true. You know, Jackson Hewitt has stated that this is what happens. This is the reality out here. You know, if I were to ask you what are the necessities in life, chances are you're not going to tell me taxes. You're probably going to say food, clothing, and shelter. But by our actions, however, we put taxes at the top of the list. Well, here's something to factor in if we want to avoid doing that. We've got different types of taxpayers. We've got businesses and we've got individuals. And this is going to be essentially a revisiting of what we started talking about earlier during this presentation. One of these gets better treatment than does the other. Who would you guess is treated better under an overall tax system, businesses or individuals? Well, you think about who makes the rules. Congress makes the rules for us. Well, who contributes more to congressional campaigns, to political campaigns? Do you suppose it's individuals or do you suppose it's businesses? Well, I don't think that I'm enlightening you on this one, but it's absolutely businesses. As such, we have a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of mentality going on. Those businesses expect something in return in the event that this is taken care of. So we've got to make sure that we're able to do this in a way that gives us these benefits. So when we're looking at this right now, factor in, we've got these different types of income as well. The different types of income, two I want to focus on for just a moment. We've got earned and unearned income. With earned and unearned income, the important thing we need to recognize about these two is that unearned income is not subject to FICA. Now, when we talk about FICA, what we're talking about is the Social Security and the Medicare taxes. Well, when you add those two components together, Social Security and Medicare, basically it adds up to 7.65%. Let's take a look at that for a second. So basically with FICA is Social Security and Medicare. Those two, the employer pays 7.65%, the employee pays 7.65%. Well, if you're self-employed, you're both. As such, you pay both. That's 15.3%. Well, even if we look at $50,000, which I think I'm being pretty conservative here, we're talking about $7,650 of total savings by changing the nature of our income from earned to unearned. I said the hardest thing the world to understand is the income tax. Well, part of the reason for that is that it's complicated. You know, the Gettysburg Address has 269 words in it. The Declaration of Independence, 1,337 words. The Bible, 773,000 words. However, U.S. tax law has ballooned from a relatively slender 11,000 words in 1913 to a seam-busting 7 million words today. It's crazy. This stuff is horribly complex. It's horribly difficult. If you want a quick example, I brought you a sample of how complex this can be. This is from the definitions section of the tax code. If it shows you how easy this is. This is the definition of husband and wife. Basically, section 7701, subsection A17 says, when used in this title, we're not otherwise distinctly expressed or manifesting.
Hey, JJ, you blacked out again just for a second. It's that internet. What are you going to do? Everybody, you know, the information you're going to get is tremendous. We're going to give you a way to obviously contact.
Actions are made by or on behalf of the wife or former wife instead of made by or on behalf of the wife or former wife, the husband or former husband, instead of vice versa. Wherever appropriate to the meaning of such sections, the term husband shall be read wife, the term wife shall be read husband. As this is what we're dealing with. Is this clear and easy to understand for you? Chances are the answer is absolutely not. That's why you've got to work with somebody that does understand this. That's how at the Advanced Tax Group, we work with people on a regular basis to help them make sense of the tax code. I want to leave you with one final illustration though, And it's something I learned from this gentleman right here. And as you can probably guess, that's Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett knows a thing or two about wealth. And when I say I learned this from him, I learned it in one of his books, Essays by Warren Buffett. In that book, he was talking about a cartoon strip, Dog Patch, with Lil Abner. And he talks about one particular episode where Lil Abner wanted to marry this young lady who would only marry a millionaire. Well, unfortunately, Lil Abner was far from it. He had a single dollar to his name. Well, he went to the wise old sage in town and he said, you know what? I want to be a millionaire because I want to marry this young lady. How do I do it? Well, the wise old sage said, you need to learn the miracle of compounding growth. He said, you need to learn how to double your dollar. If you can double your dollar 20 times, at the end of that 20th time, you'll be a millionaire. Let's take a look. Basically, if we look at this chart right here, you'll see that if you double that dollar from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, and so on, at the end of that 20th time, you would end up with $1,048,576. Now, it's kind of strange. And what Mr. Buffett points out is that he says the reason more people aren't wealthy is because they don't understand that the system is rigged against them. And you've probably heard him on the news talking about how it's just unfair that he pays less taxes than does his secretary. And part of that is because he understands the system is rigged in favor of businesses against individuals. Let me show you something. Mr. Buffett said, what if you have a partner and that you have to split your income with that partner 30%? Partner doesn't do any work, doesn't put up any money, doesn't take any risk of loss, but yet you have to split 30%. Chance, there's no way I'm going to do it, but guess what? We all do it if we don't structure ourselves the right way, because that partner is Uncle Sam. And if we don't structure ourselves the right way and we have to split that 30%, here's what ends up happening. Instead of $1,048,576, if we lose 30% every time we double that dollar, even though we do the same work, even though we get the same results, even though we had the exact same amount of success, rather than $1,048,576, we end up with $40,642.31. That, my friends, is the devastation of taxes. That, my friends, is why more people aren't wealthy. That, my friends, is why you absolutely must, and I will repeat, you absolutely must protect your business. You've got to take advantage of the knowledge that is available out there to structure yourself the right way. Well, guess what? That's why we're here. As part of this program, you have access to a very special offer. This is something we usually charge for, but guess what? Because you're part of this summit, because you're part of this overall program, you have access to our team for an initial consultation. Again, this is something that we usually charge for. However, you're able to schedule a free personal planning consultation to discuss your personalized wealth protection plan with a member of the Advanced Tax Group team. Take advantage of this today. To do that, all you got to do is text the word trust to 26786. So I would tell you right now, pull out your phone right now, text in that 26786, and then type in the word trust, send this, and someone will contact you to make sure that we schedule a call to talk about these things that we've talked about during this presentation and so much more. That's the great part of your association with this program, with this summit. You get access to all of this. Michael, I know you told me to make sure that we offer them an outstanding, can't pass up type of offer. I think we've done it. We can't do it any cheaper than free.
You know, this is amazing when it comes to, I'm going to just, there we go, because we want to see you, not your screen. You know, I want to thank you so much for this because it's so important for everybody to get this. They don't understand it until something bad happens or until something doesn't go the way they want. And what your group is doing is actually, it's like preventative medicine. And there's things we'll pay for and there's things we won't. But for you to just give them that ability to work with your team and talk to your team, everybody right now, text TRUST to 26786. Text TRUST to 26786. It doesn't matter where your business is, because especially if you're starting out, you need this. If you've been in business a long time, you need this. And JJ, I want to just thank you so much for being with us today. Any last thoughts just for a couple seconds before I let you go?
Well, thanks much, Michael, for having us. And, the thing I would just tell people is that it costs you nothing to take some time to at least talk about this. It could cost you everything to fail to take advantage of that opportunity. So I would absolutely implore people to, if there's a better way of doing things, wouldn't you at least want to hear about it? Schedule that opportunity. We've made it free of charge for you. Give us a call or text us so that we can give you a call and make sure we can help you cover your assets.
I love it. All right, everybody, we're going to give Mr. JJ Childers a huge, thunderous round of applause. You can sit gallery mode. That way you can actually see everybody. And go and give him a round of applause. All right. Thank you, JJ. You've been best today. Thank you for bringing this to our audience, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. All right, everybody. You're welcome. We're about to go to breakouts, but right now, text TRUST to 26786. Text TRUST to 26786. There's that part of you right now. You're going to think, oh, maybe I should. Maybe don't outthink this. This is outthinking yourself. Just text TRUST to 26786, and let's make it happen. And here's another great way. Very simply, if you want to applaud, everybody hit a 33 right now. That will be our applause. 33. It's been awesome. This is amazing. All right. I'm going to set the breakouts right now. We're moving into the next breakouts. We got to get rolling. So breakout rooms, you're going to have 50 minutes. I'll bring you back. Trainers and speakers, when you're in there, those you know who you are, Angel, Susie, Dr. Wendy, and Freddie, I'm going to need you to go ahead when you get into your room, hit the record button, and you're off and running. You've all been made co-hosts. Michelle, just chat with the group for literally 30 seconds so I can move people into the rooms, and then we'll roll.
Well, hello, everybody. Just wanted to check in with you. This has been a great summit, and we have some really great speakers. And I just put a little bit on Angel to see. She's going to be one of the speakers. We have this great brochure. If you haven't received one, you can get one. If you want to just kind of get a better idea of the different people that have been on the summit. And so just want to get some feedback. Let me see. I'm having trouble finding something here. Hold on 1 second.
Once you're good, just chat. I'll be done in like a second here.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to see what's going on here.
No,
all right. Oh, I know. I ended up on page 3. I was a little confused. All right. So there's this wonderful brochure. And this is a national event. And so just keep inviting people. We have some wonderful experts, and you're going to want to stay connected with them. Make sure that you are texting in, whatever they tell you to text in, so you can receive, free gifts or consultations with them, complimentary calls, all of that good stuff.
And have way too much fun. That's right.
Yeah,
all right, here we
exactly.
go, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to put you in the breakout rooms. You got 50 minutes. Have an amazing time. The education is coming at you faster than you know. It's interactive. I'll pull you all back in 50 minutes. Those of you who are the trainers for this session, again, don't forget to push the record button once you're in there. And the room is yours. I'll bounce through the rooms just to check on you. All right, everybody, have a great session. This is an amazing day. Talk to you all soon. Here we go.
Okay, so.
All right, so Cheryl, Michelle, if you want to chat a little bit in here, keep entering people, and I'm going to go ahead and bounce through the rooms.
Sure. I was thinking of going through the website a little bit for Rainmaker Summit. It's not too late if you want to join us. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on 1 second. And we're going to go here. Okay, so can you see my screen? I'm thinking you can. This is the Rainmaker Summit .com, and there's a video. You can also text WIN to 26786 if you want to learn more information. We have Rainmaker Live in Vegas that we mentioned is happening tomorrow for 3.5 days, and we also have the Icon speaker camp that's happening there as well. And just watch the video. You can you can learn about the different testimonials. You've got the Success by Design video. Everything's by design, right? And if you want success. So you can click to get the program overview. And then here are the different options if you want to either join us live and in person in April, or join us virtually tomorrow. Or if you're really inspired, you can hop on a plane and be here tomorrow for Rainmaker in Las Vegas. So let me just go through some of the testimonials. If you want to know who Bill's connected with, we're Rainmakers. We love connecting with each other. We love helping each other. So I'm just trying to see what you have on here. Just a moment while my computer is going a little slow. But we got Mary Jo Hilliker. Yes, she's definitely, as Cheryl was saying earlier, she was already a successful businesswoman, millionaire, and she just wanted to go to one of the best in the world for public speaking to polish up and get even better and have even greater success. And we're honored that she's speaking here today as well. So here's some of the testimonials. Some of are everyday folks and some are legends. And definitely Power Team has become the go-to place for starting, launching, and growing your business to even greater success. I don't know if you guys know who Robert Allen is. He's really good with getting things done and time management and those sorts of things. He's got lots of wonderful things to say about Power Team. And also just check out the page. We got James Dentley, also phenomenal public speaker, trainer, coach, you name it, does a lot with Power Team. Les Brown, a lot of people know who Les Brown is. He's so inspiring and motivational. And again, he has spent plenty of time with Bill, and they mastermind and do wonderful things together. So just check out, the testimonial page if you're in doubt. Mark Victor Hansen of Chicken Soup for the Soul sold 500 million books, co-authored with Jack Canfield. So you're in good company. Like I said, everyday folks are here and also legends. So it's a good mix of people. John Asseroff is awesome. Talks about mindset stuff. Some of us got to change what's going on in the head in order to take those necessary next steps. So I'm going to stop share for right now. I'm going to see if Cheryl wants to add anything, or if there's anybody that wants to talk to us. Cheryl there she is. Go ahead.
I would just say that for anyone, for any time that they have an opportunity to make such a change in your life, as Rainmaker will do, it will change you on a personal level, as well as make you even more successful in your business world. If you're in transition, trying to decide what it is you want to do, because a lot of people are transitioning due to what's changed in the world. They're having to make changes in their jobs to have more job security. Maybe people are taking on another type of industry that they're working in. And so when you do Rainmaker, you're going to have a business plan that you're going to lay out, and then you're going to have 90 days of being accountable. And it's going to help you really to become aware of what it is that you do in your business every day that maybe holds you back from doing better, or what are the things that do make you better. And once you realize that, you're able to focus and do more of the better things. Also laying out your cash flow. What do you need? Obviously, what you need now is different than what you would have needed 6 months ago. So I would recommend highly. It's one of the best programs that I've ever been to. For what we sell it for, I don't want to use the word joke. I just did use it though. But it's just, I would pay $7,500 for this program. It's that good. The relationships are built there, whether it's at a live event or it's a virtual event. Once you're a Rainmaker, you say to someone, I'm a Rainmaker. It's like if you go to a college and you got your MBA at Harvard and you're speaking to someone else, and you say, I went to Harvard, and I went to Harvard, automatically you're best buds, and you want to start connecting and giving referrals. Well, that's how when you tell somebody you're a rainmaker, you're part of Power Team. Well, then they are like, I'm a rainmaker too. Oh, yeah. So you start connecting that way. There's a lot of enthusiasm in our community. We have a whole page on Facebook for our Rainmaker alumni where you're able to connect. And we ask you to make sure that you do that. That's one of the things we want you to do immediately is to join up on the Rainmaker site. And this weekend, it starts at noon tomorrow. It's $9.97, or you can make 3 easy pays of $4.97. And don't let the money ever stop you. Don't let, anything stop you from taking the next step in your life. Fear and excitement go hand in hand. That's my saying. And people get caught in the fear because sometimes it's not only just the fear of being even more successful, the fear of stepping out of the box, the fear of what will my husband think, or what will my friends think? Who cares? I mean, yeah, you got to care about your husband or your wife. I mean, I'm not trying to talk to you about that. But I am saying that they'll be happy when you are more successful. And there's also a program in Rainmaker where you can bring a partner with you. You can bring a spouse or a business partner. And so, don't ever let it hold you back. I don't know how much longer you want me to talk, Michael. I can tell a story. Do you want me to tell a story, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Entertain these people.
Okay. So
Lydia looks entertained.
Hi. Yeah, Lydia, you're really. We saw each other 2 days in a row now. Like 35 years ago, I met a gentleman named Mark Victor Hansen. He was the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul with Jack Canfield. And Mark did a lot of coaching and speaking mainly to chiropractors. And I did consulting to chiropractors, and I met Mark. And we became great friends, and he's a great mentor. And he wanted me to do an event that I went to, and I didn't want to go to it. First of all, I thought, this is 35 years ago. It was $7,500 to go to this, $7,500, and I'm like, wow. And then you had to pay your own hotel and your own airfare. Fortunately, it was at the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Niguel. And I lived in California, so I wasn't going to have the airfare, but I certainly was going to have the Ritz hotel pricing. And so I thought, that's crazy. I have like 2 years of business school, college. I didn't complete my degree. My ex-husband had an MBA from Pepperdine. So I determined that he was the perfect person to invest the $7,500 in. That made sense to me. So see, it wasn't about having or not having the $7,500. It was about, did I deserve it to spend on myself? And the answer for me at the time was no, because I could fail. Well, how was I going to, I didn't want to spend $7,500 and then go fail this course. Well, hello, I wasn't going to fail, but I didn't get that. But Mark just kept persisting and persisting, and Mark's unstoppable when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so, did you want to say something?
I want to share something with you because back about 10 years ago, I was in the room with people just, the legends before they were legends, and they were scared, and the price tag was $10,000, $20,000, and people were scared. But they still showed up in that room. They mastermind. They became each other's pilot programs. They became each other's clients. They became each other's testimonials. And every one of them, I'm not going to say their names, but every one of them now are the leaders today. Mm-hmm. They got 7- and 8-figure businesses. And I remember thinking, dang it, I was there with them, and I could have, gravitated to that level. But you know what? That's what Power Team's about. We're the same thing. You come in, you mastermind, you find your people, they cheer you on, you support each other, and before you know it, you start to climb that ladder of success, and then you arrive and you almost wonder, wow, I can't believe I made that happen. But we have it at a much better price point.
Oh, absolutely.
Already with the legend. 10 years ago, those were not legends helping each other out, and they paid a lot of money. Today, you've got all the legends coming in, they're doing philanthropic work. They're wanting to help, like the Mark Victor Hansons, the Bill Walshes. They come in $1,000. It's a great value. I mean, I can't even believe it at times, because I remember people were paying $100,000, $50,000, $25,000, and so Rainmaker is very affordable, and its success is by design. Our motto is to your success. Our goal is your success, and it's just a great place to be, especially if you're starting out. It's even better if you want to grow your business, because now you've got a venture capitalist who can be strategic with you and give you some ideas on how to grow your business and scale it. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to wrap up, go back to finish the story, tie back to it, was that I, listened to Mark, and finally I decided, okay, I'm going. And I missed my flight. So I got caught in the rain. I wasn't packed. I really had talked myself into, I agreed that I was going to go, but I hadn't made up my mind I was going to go. Again, because I just thought spending $7,500 on me was not going to be the best investment. I hadn't given myself permission. And that's a key thing you need to work on, in the power of permission for yourself to go to the next level. And I actually learned that lesson from Jack Canfield at that meeting that I went to. That it was a seminar and forum, they called it, the forum, $1 Million Forum. And it was Bob Proctor, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, Lee Vanderwall, Wally Minto, legends, and Barney Dorman. And I went to it, and I did get sick because I got caught in the rain. So that was perfect, because since I was sick, if I failed, I had an excuse. Because see, I needed that excuse, because I don't go and tell my husband, who's, an MBA from Pepperdine and, very highly intelligent, well, I didn't pass the forum, because I didn't know exactly what the forum was. So you don't know what Rainmaker is. So you can have that fear too. And so what I want you to know is that, whatever it is, you have to step out to the next level. And I went to the forum. I got sick. I spent 3 days saying I didn't know what I was doing there. So people were kind of looking at me like, well, she's a little crazy, because, by the time she's paid $7,500 in the Ritz-Carlton, she's at about $10,000, and that's 35 years ago. Not 3 years ago, 35 years ago. So I finally decided I don't like looking silly. So I started saying, I'm here to get whatever I'm supposed to get. I'm not sure. I have a consulting business. I work with doctors. I do, fairly well with it. But my ex-husband was really my main source of income. And so I started looking at myself as a businesswoman. I was doing pretty darn good with what I started. And I listened during the class, and they talked about not charging enough, as setting your payment scale at the right level. And back then I charged $20 an hour per doctor. Immediately when I left the forum, I went to $100 an hour. Immediately I quit giving away my free consultation, and I started charging $1,500. These are the same type of things that are going to apply for you today, that are going to be applicable, that you will learn at Rainmaker, how to set yourself up in business properly, how not to undersell yourself, and how to give yourself permission. Bill says right now, when he's telling people at our events with Power Team, don't make things cheap now, because you're worried that people can't afford them. First, who wants anything cheap, I don't want anything cheap. When people say free, even I think of cheap. Complimentary, that sounds better. So verbiage is very important. But Bill says, raise your prices. It adds more, and add more value to what you're giving, if you're doing that. Either you do it whichever way is going to work best. And that's where you're going to be mentored in the program. And that's what I did years ago. It changed my whole path. And this event that I wasn't going to go to, I ended up licensing out what they called the fair, expo, whatever you want to call it, and a trade show. And I did that for years. And then I ended up running the company for almost 20 years. Now, this is a person that didn't want to go, didn't know why they were going to go, got sick, tried to not go, and became the person that was running it. So the moral here for you, if you're listening and any of this resonates with you, is don't be afraid to step out. Don't let money be the thing. We can always find an excuse. It can be, I don't have the schedule. I've got plans this weekend. I don't have the money. My husband's going to get mad. My mother's going to get mad. My sister, somebody's going to get mad in the family. You know, whatever your reasoning is, all it is an excuse. Because Rainmaker is not only live, but it's virtual. So you don't have to leave the kids this weekend. You could still be online and do the event. So at $9.97, it is, I can't even fathom it. And all the information, the darn booklet you get alone when you get there is you'll think, how are they giving this away at $9.97? But it's 2.5 days of intense learning, communicating, being trained by the best of the best. Go wash. And then we're going to do the last day on speaking, how to speak and how to learn more about your presentations from when you're speaking with people. And that's going to be really powerful for you. That course alone, we used to charge $3,000 for it alone. We've now included it into Rainmaker. As I said, we gave more value. We've added things to make it better for you because we do know there's a change going on in the world. And so wherever you are, whoever you are, if you've not done Rainmaker, do it and do it now. Don't wait. Don't say, oh, I'll do it next time. It's not convenient because even if you can't sit on the live call the whole time during the weekend, it's in your back office so you can listen to it at your convenience. So see, that excuse doesn't work. You can give me every excuse and I'm going to come back with a reason why you should do it. So I want you to think about that. Any hesitation, anything to do with fear on this, call me. I guarantee you, if I were there in person, I would be giving you my room number so that you could not come hang out with me, but so that you would know my room number and my phone number. I used to do this with people when I would talk to them because I wanted them to know I'm not going to be hiding from anyone. I mean, if I say I stand for something and I believe in it, I want you to be able to find me. You know why? Because I want you to come to me and say, thank you. This has changed my life. Because that's when I get my passion back. That's what lifts me up and helps me to receive and give more to other people. So again, if you have any hesitation, please reach out to me. My phone number is 256-975-0527. And I'll be on, all day long. So any questions, but Michelle is going to be there live. She's a powerhouse. She's filled with connections and she loves to chat with you and loves to give you time. And that's a great thing because we all use our skills so differently. And that's the thing you learn at Rainmaker is how to work with different individuals. What individual works at a very fast pace. I think you can see that I move my hands, I'm animated. Michelle's pretty animated too from her past. She's been an actress before, and I think still does some of that. But you meet all different types of people at our Rainmakers. We've had all kinds of celebrities go through it, and it's not because people are going because they just want to go and hang out and have a good time. It's because people know they need new information. When you stop learning, if you stop learning, you quit reading, you're dead. You don't know what's going on. You're just floating through life. And who wants to just float? Who wants to live? I want to be alive. I'm 68. I'm excited about my age. I'm excited about what I'm doing. I'm excited about the new Rainmakers that are coming in, and I'm able to learn from them as well as teach. So please reach out to us. And again, Michelle will be there to help you, to guide you along the way. You're not going to get lost. And the great thing about Rainmaker is Bill teaches a section, then he has you do the exercise. Now, I don't have the MBA, but my ex-husband told me that's how they did at Pepperdine. That's part of the MBA program. That's the way they do it. And so it's much like getting a business MBA, I would say, but you're getting it in a very short span of time. The thing that's so great about it being online is that you can go home and then in your own living room or in your study or wherever you're at, you can review parts that you want to really, maybe you didn't remember as much or what were they saying. And I'll tell you, Bill gives out so much free information on websites, okay? Now I use the word free, not to sound like it's cheap in that sense. I'm saying these aren't his websites. These are just sites that he knows that you can go to and you don't pay anything for, or maybe you pay $5. He uses them for Power Team, for our business. He's using them, and they're very effective tools. But yesterday at the event I was at, here he goes again with all these new sites and tools, because he's always on top of it. He lives this world, and I don't live that. I'm not constantly online. Michelle loves the internet. She loves being on, finding out on research and everything. Austin does, but Bill loves finding all the new tools. You see, we all have our skill sets. Mine's talking, obviously. But you look up, you get them, and then you get them, and you get to when Bill's calling them out because he talks fast. You're trying maybe to write it down, but you'll be able to listen again because you just pull it up on your laptop.
I want to
So
say,
go ahead, Michelle.
You are really great at helping people cultivate the millionaire mindset. You're really great at helping people shift that excuse from I don't have the resources to I'm going to be resourceful. You help people work it out in their head. That's what you're really great at. That's why I like spending time with you.
And I think that the thing that anyone, if you think about something that's, and I said this earlier, that you really want in your life, it's something. We'll use the amount of $9.97. It costs $9.97. I think an iPhone. My boyfriend's son just bought his 14-year-old daughter the new iPhone. It was $900 is what he paid for it. Now Rainmaker's $9.97. I can't get it. Okay, I can't get it. You see the value there? I mean, it's just crazy that you could have all this training and all this stuff to help you for years. It'll last, the information that you'll get. And you can come back to Rainmaker time and time again. We got for a year, and you're going to learn new information, meet new people if you go to the live portion. But even online, you're going to meet people. So I just really encourage you to do that. And whatever is in your mind, remove the poverty. Quit saying, I was working with my nephew on this the other day. He's had challenging times. And I told him, you can't say that's what's putting those ideas in your mind. You have to change. Your affirmations have to be different. So if you want to be at Rainmaker, and if it's a financial issue, you say, I'm going to go no matter what. I may not know how, but I'm going to figure out a plan. And if you need someone to help you figure out that plan, I'll help you figure out that plan. Because I can tell you there are so many ways you can figure out. And all you have to do is make one of the payments. If you can't pay in full, make one payment, and then you get logged into your back office so you can go. So again, reach out to me, 256-975-0527. I'm here to help you. I'll be here around all weekend. I'll be doing the virtual.
Hello?
Yes. Somebody said hello. Somebody said goodbye. Well, I don't use say hello, but you
I
can.
think that was Audrey, and I muted her because of there was a little bit of feedback. But
Okay.
if Audrey unmutes, that would be good too.
Okay, well, Audrey, if you have a question, you can unmute.
Yes, you're saying, so this program, is it, it's gonna be all online?
Yes, ma'am. It's online and it's virtual. It's at the Green Valley Ranch in Vegas. Henderson, I should say, Henderson. And so it's outside of Vegas. And then it's online. So I'm getting feedback. Do you know why?
Yeah, because I have it too. Okay.
Okay.
So it's gonna, what does it entails?
Why don't let's do this, since I'm having the feedback. Let's see if Michelle can talk and not have the feedback. And it may be, Audrey, that you need to go on mute while we're talking, and then we unmute for you to talk. Okay, let's see if that did it.
Okay.
Okay.
I put your phone number 256-975-0527 into the chat.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead? I think that's what it is. When we're both on, why don't you go ahead and try and we're not try, just go ahead and give her what she can expect. And